This episode of the Inside Running Podcast is brought to you by the World Athletics Cross Country Championships Bathurst 23. See our Aussies take on the world's best at Mount Panorama on February 18, 2023. Spectator tickets and mass race registrations on sale now at worldathleticscrosscountry.com.
That your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place? Under cover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking.
Welcome to episode number 267 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you this week. We've got an interview with Sinead Diver at the very end of the episode, and Steve Moneghetti is going to be popping in about an hour in. So all the regular segments and those two big names to bring you in episode number 267. Welcome to my co-host, the winner of the Christchurch Half Marathon, I'm going to say in 2018, Bradley Croker. How you going?
That's correct, Brady. Thank you, and welcome back. I feel like the world's back to normal with you hosting the Inside Running Podcast.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me back. I'm excited to be here. Bit of a slip up in the introduction. Maybe I'm a bit nervous talking to you two big dogs after spending the last 9 weeks with Christian and Toby. But well done. You've been doing well on this show the last 9 weeks. I've been very impressed and actually enjoying listening to it. It's been a bit of a highlight of my week, waking up on a Tuesday morning and listening to you guys bang on for 60, 90 minutes. So good to be back and looking forward to talking all things running with you.
Now, very happy to have you back. You can pick up the pieces.
Oh, you've been doing well. Not giving yourself enough credit, Croaks. My other
He hasn't had an intro for a while, so this has probably got him up and about.
Up and about. He'll be up and about. Some good stuff in this agenda tonight. Bradley still has been planning the agenda because I've got some other stuff going on, but I had a bit of a look through it half an hour ago, and he's doing a good job, Moose. Welcome to you this week, the 2019 World Championships representative in the marathon for Australia. Still yet to have one since in 2022. We're talking about that. So how are you going this week?
Going good, mate. Jeez, you're real up and about.
Same introductions, but I just try and get a bit of gusto behind them, a bit of energy. So I'm happy to be here. I was just saying. I'm excited.
I reckon you're a bit nervous.
I am a bit nervous and a bit excited, actually. A bit on my toes.
You've had no heat on you on the other show.
No,
it's all been big high fives, big circle jerk.
Yeah, we're pretty friendly on that show, aren't we? It's been actually good not getting ripped into, but I'm bracing myself for a few questions coming my way some stage in this interview this episode, because I was thinking I was going to come back as a bit of a quicker marathoner than I was previously. But anyway, we're still here.
Well, how are you feeling?
Just telling you off there, feeling tired. Feel like I could come back, hit the ground running. It's good back to be with the family, back at work, into all those kind of routines and stuff like that. But yeah, still, like, the disappointment from the result hasn't gone away. Still kind of stewing on it a bit, which isn't a bad thing. I think you can be disappointed for a while, and still trying to figure out exactly why I felt so bad. Hoping you boys can tell me some stuff when we talk about, I guess, a bit tonight, and your thoughts. I value both your opinions and stuff. So yeah, obviously
about it now, then?
We can. You guys would have heard me unpack it all on road to Valencia last week, but pretty much beautiful day. Conditions were perfect. Course was amazing. Pack, kind of had a nice pack probably for about the first 14k, and then I got a bit stranded solo through to about 25k, and then went through halfway in 68.08, I think it was. Saw the clock and thought, beautiful, this is the day I run 2:16, because I felt like I was jogging up until that stage, which you probably should in the first half of a marathon. Then around 28k, it just got harder and harder to lift my legs. Like, both the quads were just super heavy, and it felt like super fatigued. And then I was like, oh, this isn't good at, 28, 29K for this to be happening. But I kind of kept things at that stage, to be honest. I just thought, okay, instead of run 216, I'll run 217. Like, I've got a minute up my sleeve here. I'll be fine. And then, 34, 35K, both my hammies, started grabbing and just cramping. And then tried to, change my gait. So I had, the super low arms instead of, getting the pop out of the legs. And it was really just about, survival from there through to the finish line, not stopping. I think if it was probably Melbourne Marathon and somewhere locally, if I wasn't on the other side of the world, I probably would have stepped off. Just couldn't run. It was just terrible. And that's where, the negative thoughts and stuff start coming in. Why is this not gone right again? Soldiered on, got to the finish line. I think if you look at my K splits on my Strava, from about 37, 30K, 38K onwards, I was just splitting my watch every K, just trying to make it from 37 to 38 and then 38 to 39. It was a real mental battle, physical battle to get to the finish line. And then got there and was really disappointed. It was one of those ones where I ended up in the medical tent for about 20 minutes afterwards, just dizzy, fatigued, just wanted to lay down and sleep. Just absolutely cooked, I suppose. So not a pleasant way to finish a race, not a pleasant experience. It was, probably, I think I said to Croaks, it was the hardest thing I think I've ever experienced in a race before. And, I think it's just black and white that I didn't prepare my body good enough, because it just crumbled. It just broke in the last 10, 12K. And when that happens, it's a very miserable last 35, 40 minutes to get to the finish line. Proud of the preparation, committing to the amount of Ks I did and putting in the work I did. And proud that I got to the finish line, because, as I said, it was difficult. But, extremely disappointed that time and effort I put in only represented a 2:20.25. But you learn stuff from it as well. I think I learned that my legs just aren't strong enough to handle the pounding of the marathon, and I need to do things to address that, because I've got it wrong a lot more times than I've got it right over that distance, and still think I haven't got close to my ceiling, what I should be doing in that race.
Personally, Brady, I think you did prepare well.
Yeah, it's all I was doing 200k weeks, Croaks, that midweek long I got out, but my legs just felt like shit from 28, 29k onwards.
But I think that's because of how you ran it, personally. I think you were in good shape, and I think you could have run maybe as I said before, 216 mid to 217 mid, if you had run it differently. I want to be honest with you, but I also don't want you to come away from this feeling completely deflated. But I listened to the last episode that you were on when Sinead was on, and I remember I said, what's your A, B, and C goal? And you came out at the end and you said, my goal is 218.07.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Which I should have stuck to.
All of your training has been around that 3:15 kilometre pace. You also said, I don't want to go across the other side of the world, leave my wife and kids at home and roll the dice and blow to pieces. I want to respect the marathon, and I want to roll home over the last 10K like Moose does.
Yeah.
So I've got a few stats here. So Julian, when he ran 2:16.39 and when I ran 2:17.28, Julian went through 10K in 32.43 and I went through 10K in 33.09. You went through in Valencia 32.11. So 30 seconds faster than Julian, about a minute faster than what I did when I ran 2:17.30. Half marathon, you went 68.06. Julian was 69.02 when he ran 2:16.39. I was 69.32 when I ran 2:17.30. And even when you ran your PB of 2:19.53, you went through 10K in 33 minutes and halfway in 69.25. And look, I think you were in better marathon shape this time around than when you ran that. But I think that if you'd run 69 flat through half, you wouldn't have had those heavy quads, and you would have actually felt strong in that second half and potentially rolled home well. Also, you got to remember, you're a guy that's traditionally struggled in the second half of the marathon. So why roll the dice? Why not, make sure that like I know you said you're comfortable through 68, but like based on all of the stats that I've just read out, you know, like you can still run 216 by going through 69 flat, and you've got so much more, like you've got such good speed that you can roll home real quick if you're feeling like you've got it in the legs. So that's where I think it went wrong personally.
Yeah, and we'll never know, will we? Like, there's that flip side of it where I'm like, well, if I went, say, 69.00, would have that just come on at 32 instead of like 28? Like, is the pounding thing still an issue?
No, I don't think it works like that, though.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Like, yeah, that's what the one thing I was thinking. Like, it might have just come on a bit later. And the other thing I must admit, like, I actually didn't know I was on for 68.08 or whatever it was until I actually got to halfway. Like, I didn't intentionally go out and try to run 68.08. I had a look at I was kind of working on 3:15s, and obviously we were 3:13s, I think, through 10K. And then I was just kind of rolling. But mate, yeah, you're right. I should have in hindsight, like, it's a perfect thing. I would have, if I could go back and do it again, I would have sat in that pack of the lead. Well, the second group of females, they were meant to run 69.15, and I think they went a bit quicker. I think they were like 68.55 or something like that, which would have been perfect. And to be honest, I think I got a bit caught up in the hype of everyone telling me I was in 216 shape and 216 pace, and everyone's messaging me saying this is the day for the breakthrough. And I changed. I literally, like 2 weeks ago, I said, well, I'm not going to run 218 anymore. This is the day I run 216, 217. And that's where I come up with that 3:15 pace, which was, 2:17:30 pace. And I probably bought into the whole hype of this weather's amazing, this course is amazing, there's going to be packs everywhere, you don't sit on a plane for 20 hours to run 218. And yeah, like, of course, hindsight's amazing.
Did you read through all the people's predictions on our Instagram page?
No, I didn't even look at it. I saw it pop up, and I think because Jess is like an Instagram influencer, like hers was like pegged to the top, and I saw like 215 or something from her, and then I like, don't even look at these comments here. Yeah. I didn't want to know, but but it wasn't so much the people writing in like that. It was probably more the people in my closer circles. I probably needed someone to say, hey, remember when you were talking about 218.00 5 weeks ago? Like, let's cover that base first and feel good with 5K to go. Because even like I was solo from that 12 to 25K or whatever, because I felt like the guys were running with, they started running 318s, 319s, and I'm like, okay, that feels too slow, I'm going to go ahead solo, which was just dumb that early in the race.
What did those two finish at, do you know?
Nah, both blew to pieces, like, I think 225. Yeah. But, mate, you should see it over there. Like, you look at the result and go, oh, this is an amazing race, amazing day, but what you don't see is the blow-ups and the carnage, like the amount of Kenyans and, I'm not sure if they were Kenyans, but the super elite guys who are just walking from like 30K onwards trying to find a ride back to the finish line. Like, they had 150 sub 220 men in the field, and I ran 220 and come 74th. So you're like, where's the other 60, 70 guys? Carnage everywhere, but yeah, got it wrong. Just addressing that 3:15 pace that you were working at. A lot of the time we work off ideal race plans being that pace, and ideal races, how rare they are. Like, that's a great day if you can average that for the entire marathon. But that's not like, if you see 1 or 2 seconds a bit quick early, that's okay, because it's roundabouts. It's like, no, this is the best day that I'm going to have. This is the pace, and that's like, just think you're hitting threshold at 3:12 or very close to, but at 3:15 you're not. You're back. You're churning lactate, like you're actually clearing it well, like you're controlled. Yeah, so you say on 7K down the track you might blow up, but I don't think so. I think there's a lot more at play, and there are big differences there, because there's also how much we talk of running negative splits and how good that is mentally, and you've done it in workouts where you're feeling good at the end, and how good it feels to progress the pace at later on.
and that I feel like you're one of those races away from understanding, and that's what you need. And I listened to the episode just before. I got a fair way through it, and Sinead, that was her 14th marathon.
Yeah.
She's run 2:21 in her 14th. That's how long it's taken her to get it right.
We were talking about this off air last week because I was planning to retire after getting the marathon right and thought that would have been it at Valencia. And I'm like, you know what? The Bats have won a premiership. I'm happy with all my other PBs. Just give me a decent marathon time, and I'll, put the feet up. And then Sinead told me it took her 14 to get right, so I've still got like 6 more chances until I get to 14. I think I'm at 8. So yeah, and you're right. And you messaged me afterwards talking about Brett as well. Like, you were just like, hey, look, he's had some shockers in there as well, and then he's got it right. Like, he just broke the Australian record, and I'm just like, yeah. I guess with family and my age and stuff like that, I was just like, that was an opportunity that I missed. Because
they'll come again.
I know it'll come again.
How old?
36? I'm 35. 35 in December. Yeah, a couple of weeks. Put it in your diary. Wish me happy birthday.
I had run one marathon at your age.
Yeah. The worst thing is, though, I get compared to you two pricks too often. Like, I should have picked 2 different guys to be on a podcast with.
But you're much faster than us. You should.
I know. That's the worst thing.
But that was my point before.
I feel like I'm the Tedeschi of Australia.
Like, if anybody can afford to go a bit slower in the first half, backing their speed, it's you, Brady.
Yeah. And this is the problem. Was I got too caught up on how good I've been running this year, and I thought I was a new runner. And I got too caught up on what other people were telling me, and I should have said, hey, you're still the guy that's had trouble in the second half of marathons, so let's put those glasses on and look at it that way. So
exactly. And it's not like you were running poorly when you ran 2:19.50 either. You know, like you had some pretty good like preps and decent races in the lead up to that as well.
Yeah.
But I'd just love to see you in the same shape, hit 69 through half, and then roll a sub 68 second half.
Yeah, we'll do that next time, eh?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I did love.
Entries just opened in Valencia. We'll go again.
What I loved from that episode was stay a little longer, Daddy.
Oh, it was good, wasn't it? I had that planned in my head for when it... Yeah, you like that saying?
That was amazing. Like, I heard you say that, I'm like, oh, fucking hell, that is brilliant. Like, that is probably the best thing that I've ever heard you say about like the marathon.
Oh. But then you risk like trying to run while you got tears rolling down your cheeks, and you still got 14k to go.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It was a long way. It was a long way to pull it out. I was thinking it was going to be like 39k. I was going to use that, not 29k.
Tears are like a Morton gel. At that point.
And you're different, with kids. Like, and that was the thing that hurt the most. Like, I was fucking walking back to my Airbnb, just like tears in my eyes, walking past these random Spanish people, just because I was thinking about Carly and the kids and like how many like hours you spend away from them doing the training, and then you're like, that's what I got in return. Like, that's what I could get on that. But then Carly's like, hey, you could have run 240, 250, 210, and she's going to think about me the same way, which was really good. Like, they're the things you just think of straight away, but you feel like you let them down and you're disappointed your family and stuff like that, but you haven't deep down.
And the day that you nail it, the fact that you felt so shit like this time around, like that will make the good day feel even better.
Yeah, looking forward to that day, Croaks. But
I don't want examples too.
I don't want to talk about which ones. Oh, yeah.
Brett Robinson at Fukuoka 3 years ago, was it? Where he had beaten up quads, 30k.
Yeah, I did the interview with him before, and that's why he was heading over there, and like there was talk of him trying to break the Aussie record even then, I think, on debut.
It was, yeah.
Exact same issue as Brady. The beaten quads, I've gone, like it's got real difficult, and he stepped off, and look what he did. There's just so many examples out there of people coming back strong.
Yeah, I still think I've got to address that like flat running and just like weak muscles. I think I need to get in the gym or get to hills more often as well.
Hills are important. I do think downhill running,
especially downhills.
Yeah, that strengthens the quads a lot, and do it early in the block. So I like to do a lot of hilly long stuff from 10 to 20 weeks out, and then you'll pull up quite sore after the first couple, and it's almost like it conditions after that, and then you're okay and you don't feel it again. But you know it's good for you at the time.
It was that feeling, when you've been in the gym for the first time in 3 years and then you can't get off the toilet the next morning. Like it's that. I need that in training, and what I felt at 32 was I didn't feel that the whole build-up. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't getting to that level of fatigue and getting close to that fire at all. But anyway, you live, you learn. That was my week, boys. I did 3K with Olivia in the pram on Friday. So I flew home Monday morning. I missed the beers afterwards in Valencia. Missed all the Norwegians. Missed Toby. Toby was back on the beers. He was tested negative at that stage. So he got to the beer drinking session with Sinead and all those people. So, flew home from Madrid Monday morning. Arrived in Melbourne Tuesday night. Prick of a flight, and it was a smooth flight, but just so long. You're just looking at that TV screen being like, how is it still like 11 and a half hours? Felt like it was that last time I looked at it. And then, Wednesday I went back to work. Thursday I was at home with the kids. Friday I was home with the kids and put Olivia in the pram and did 15 minutes. Everything hurt, which was probably to be expected. And then Saturday, Sunday I had off. So a week of 3K, and I'll take a month pretty low. I think I had 18 races this year, so it's a good idea just to give the body a big rest and then rebuild again in the new year.
That's a lot of races, isn't it?
Well, 10 cross-country ones, and then chuck in Valencia, Gold Coast half, Launceston, 10. I did two local, like the Sweatburst Steam one and like this Echuca Triathlon Run League.
Any track races?
Yeah, I did 2 races at Vic Country. I did the 5K and the 1500 at the start of the year, and I did Stall. So I think that's 18. Maybe that was it. But yeah, a lot of races over the year.
Yeah.
One of us has to.
Yeah. Didn't help when
how many has Crux done?
Did you race at all this year, Crux?
Yeah, I did Sydney 10.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Does Gold Coast count?
Gold Coast counts. You got an asterisk next to that one, but Gold Coast counts.
Gold Coast is good.
Yeah, and that's probably about it.
You take that. How many you done, Moose?
I did a few at the start of the year.
And you would have done a few on the cross-country season.
I did a few cross races. I did a fun run in March. I reckon I don't know whether I did track races. There wasn't that many, but I did get a few cross races in, maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, that adds to the total.
Hey, speaking of Moose's races, Brady, did you get excited when you heard his weekly recap last week about his plans for next year?
Mate, both of you guys, I can't get over the growth that you guys have both had in the last 10 weeks since I've been away. You're the handling of the show, Croaks, and your organisation behind the scenes, and then I'm on the plane listening to it on the way home last week, and Moose is telling me how he's doing the Oslo Marathon, he's doing some Japanese marathon. You know he's going to be out there for the Cats. They're kind of rebuilding after a disappointing 2022. So I can't get over how much his racing plans have changed.
Yeah, well, I reckon I've just laid the foundations, and now it's time to step to the next stage of training, which involves racing, and that's Osaka Marathon. That's the one I'm going to do. It's late Feb in Osaka, obviously. I'm going over as a guest of Mizuno. They're opening an innovation centre there, and it's timed with the marathon. So, yeah, I haven't really looked at the course or anything.
Haven't you? You've done a Japanese marathon that wasn't Lake Biwa before. Was this that one?
Yeah, that was Senshu International, and that was in Osaka as well.
Yeah, okay.
But that ran in the suburb areas, like in the prefectures outside of Osaka. I think this is in the city. So it's a flat city. I don't think there's going to be hills or anything. And I'm not too concerned about the course, to be honest. It's just it's going to be a fun time.
Used to be a display photo on Strava, I reckon.
Oh yeah,
with his arms up.
How did
so
Darbs
on? Azumi. Azumi is like this cartoon sheep thing that there's like the icon of the city and a mascot for the city, and they take it really seriously. It's quite odd, actually. They celebrate this weird sheep, and he's giving me a high five.
Hey, what will it be won in? Like, is it a Lake Biwa, Fukuoka type Japanese
I don't
marathon,
think
or
so.
like you might win it in 2:22?
I'm going to have to look at that. I haven't looked at it yet.
I'm surprised you haven't actually.
Win it in what?
Yeah, I don't know. What are you going to run?
I put down. They asked the time. I said 2:30. So
2:30.
that's a good time to aim for.
You'll run quicker than 2:30. With the Mizuno trip, do you have to wear Mizuno shoes?
Yeah, but I would pick that shoe
Oh,
anyway.
mate, tell you,
at
that's
the
my
moment.
biggest regret about Valencia, not wearing that shoe.
Yeah,
I would have been
yeah.
fine through 68.06 or whatever.
Yeah, who's talked you out of that? That was poor by them.
Christian and Toby, those two boys. Anyway,
It's always easier in hindsight, though.
everything is correct. Tell you what. So tell us about your running week then, Moose, because you're doing stringing some good stuff together. I assume you're going to race that 10K down in Geelong in a couple of weeks.
The Geelong 10Ks is actually entries are filling up. It's like what do they call it? You know, the one that wasn't for Mona? Is
Ratified.
it ratified? Yeah.
I think I think that was certified, but the issue was that the track wasn't 8 lanes. They have like different criteria. Like I think the race did everything they could do, but I think then when you go to get a world record approved, they say tick all these boxes, and one of it is it an 8-lane track? And Collingwood's only 6.
But that's irrelevant when it's a distance race.
Yeah, just stuff I've been seeing on Facebook forums and stuff. But
right.
Yeah, that was one of the criteria. Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway, we'll ask him when he's coming on in 32 minutes, so we'll ask him.
Yeah, but yeah, that race is looking really good. It's going to fill the gap for someone who needs a fast 5 or 10K in January. So if you're looking for kind of qualifiers for track classics, that kind of thing, or you know how hard it is to find a good 10K race, these are going to be graded events. Hopefully we get 2 or 3 races out there in the 10K. And it looks like the ladies 5K will be strongest for the ladies, and maybe the men's 10K. That's how it's shaping up at the moment.
Any names you can throw out there?
We got Ali Pashley in the women's 5, so Olympian, world champs, 10K rep, heading to the track again. I think Rachel McGuinness has entered the 10, but she should be persuaded to do the 5 and race Ali, I think, if that's going to be the stronger of the 2 events. In the men's 10, you've got the Toby Mende, bad boy of Ballarat. Apparently, that's his
name.
That's his name now. I've heard that a fair bit. No, I haven't looked at the entries, to be honest. It's going to be around that. I reckon a lot of blokes around that 30 to 31 minute. So that second level down from Zatopek, and then a few races below that too.
Will you pace it to try and get the Zatopek time, the 29:45, for the boys that have missed that? Because, as you said, limited opportunities to run a track 10K.
Yeah, I think that will depend on who actually shows up.
Yeah, okay.
So I reckon we'll know 1 to 2 weeks out, and then we can decide those things.
Yeah.
But
will you do it, Croaks?
people-
Will you go down?
Negative.
Okay.
I haven't run for about a month.
I've been staying off Strava, mate, since my race. I don't care about running much anymore. But anyway.
Anyway, that'll be good. So Monday, by now I actually found out about this on the Monday. So I ran that afternoon with a little bit more pep on the step, knowing that I had a marathon coming up. So ran nearly an hour and then joined the group. So Surf Coast Track Club, big show out on Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. We start a warm-up at Deakin University. We had about 10 of us there for this workout. The workout was 5 by 1200s with 90 seconds rest. And so everyone's really flexible about changing their workouts for this group session, because it's sort of like late notice. A lot of guys within this group have different coaches. So it is, if you're really rigid with your training, you won't get the benefit of having the group session. So everyone's really good about changing their workout to join in. And some of the faster guys like Matt Gunther, he started his 1200s a bit behind us so that he could catch us and finish at the same time. And there were some guys that were doing another workout that jumped in and did shorter reps that probably couldn't do the whole workout. I think that's great for group training, great for building morale, and just the atmosphere and the vibe at this session really got me excited for how good this group can be and how much it can help my running personally, having these guys around to motivate me and encourage me to train a bit harder, because there was no way I was doing a workout of this difficulty by myself. That's for sure. I mean, I'm not going to the track by myself, full stop, but I'm not doing this in Anglesey, that's for sure.
6 a.m. start. What time are you in the car to get to Geelong?
5:25.
Yeah, that's dedication.
So yeah, I
Up
just
at 4:30.
I shower in the I'm up pretty early. I shower in the disabled toilet there.
Oh, then you stay there for work.
And then I go to work real early and just fart around.
Well, you clock off at 11:30 a.m. or something when you go home.
I hit a massive wall at 1 p.m. and then I go to sleep in the office out the back. I'm enjoying this. So this was a good workout. So the goal was to hit around 76s for the 800s and then kick down the remaining 400 to about 36s. The group's pretty competitive. I like it. So we go through the first. I had track mode on Coros for the very first time, and I didn't realise that it had set the K rep to auto lap. So I was going through the K, and it was spot on because it was on track mode. It worked out like inside lane, and it was hitting me at the exact same spot every time. It's really good. I like it. So I was running. So we went through the first K in 3:12, then kicked down 36. Then the next one, we're having 90 seconds standing rest between. The next one, 3:11 down to 37. The next one, 3:8 down to 33. The next one, 3:7 down to 32. And the next one, 3:6 down to 32. So the workout progressed, and I was really surprised that I could move my legs like this, running 32-second 200s off the back of those K reps. It shows up that the training locations that I'm at in Anglesey are quite slow, and they're not reflective of like the true fitness that I have, because I thought this session was pretty solid. And yeah, I'll be back there tomorrow. We're going to do this track has a loop around it, a hilly road loop that we're going to do a tempo and then into some repeats and then a tempo at the end. So you can get a lot of different sessions out at the same place pretty conveniently. It'll hold strong. These are all Geelong cross country runners, so we're looking good here. This is where this is going to be the breeding ground for the championship 2023.
Oh really? You're going to have a tilt at it?
I reckon we will. I mean, I'm seeing in this group is some top end Div 2 runners that will start pressing for the bottom end of the Div 1 team, and that's where you win championships. You fill in number 4, 5, and 6 of the team, getting them in the top 30, top 25, not being 60th and 50th and stuff. Because we've got our good runners, that's okay. Like we've got our guys that will finish top 10 with Toby's, Matt's, Whiteman's. It's the next 3 that we really want to bring up, and I see it. They're the ones that are being developed in this group.
Croaks will love this chat, Bruce. But you're right. You need 6 to 10 being strong, because they go in and out as well. Like someone's away, and then you need an even replacement.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk everyone away from Gold Coast Marathon. Yeah. Because that ruins the season too.
Yeah. Talk Andy Buchanan out of world champs as well. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah, so that was good. Then I was pretty sore actually. That really, oh boy, that beat me up a bit.
What shoes were you running 32s at the end?
Mizuno Rebellions.
On the track.
On the track, sticky. That rubber is. Yeah. It's one of the best outer soles I've ever worn, and I was turning corner. Yeah, there's a little bit of instability because of the stack height, but the grip is right there. Like it's just tacky as.
Jeez, imagine if they change those shoe rules to allow super shoes on the track. It'd be so much fun and save old blokes like me and you.
Well, I'm not in any races where it matters, so I'm not too concerned about it.
What are you going to do for the Geelong 10K?
I'll wear the super shoe. I don't care. Like,
no, you got to put
I'm
a pair
not
of spikes
qualifying.
on.
No, I don't.
But you're still in the A race, aren't you?
This isn't a championship.
What do you think about that, Croaks?
This is exhibition match.
I hope the time doesn't go on your World Athletics profile.
Me too. I hope it doesn't.
Comes out and runs 29:30.
Yeah. No,
and in World Athletics, there's no asterisks.
Nothing wrong with doing that in super shoes, Croaks.
Didn't you see the study that showed that the super shoe and the spike were essentially no difference over a 10-minute rep and then a 3-minute rep? Maybe over 30 minutes, sure.
I heard that on Shoe Geeks.
Yeah. Next day, I was still sore. My hammies, my glutes, my lower back, they were all feeling really sore after the track. Just my running gait hasn't been in that level of like range for a long time. So I was using muscles that had lain dormant for probably 2 years. So I ran with Ali down in Aries. We did some surges at the end. They felt horrible. Next day, I did a workout again. It's handy for me because I'll do a hard session on Tuesday, and then I'm going to train with Ali on Friday for her threshold tempo stuff. So we did a 40-minute undulating tempo out the back of Aries Inlet, and it's on a dirt road. It's all dirt. It's pretty hilly. So it was 40 minutes. We averaged 3:37 per K, 132 meters over that 11K. We were going off Ali's heart rate, so I was just sticking with her. I averaged 159 beats. I felt really comfortable pretty much the whole way because I was just that little bit fitter than Ali right now. So it's always nicer to be the fittest one of the duo. You sort of sit next to them and everything feels a lot comfier when you can see them hurting a bit more. But yeah, that was good. So it's good to see her journey back. She's getting fitter each week. I think she's going to have a good race at World Cross Trials, and there's going to be some good training for that coming up. Fridays will stay pretty similar. It allows me to come back and extend my long run on Sunday. So Saturday I always have a pretty gentle run. I just did 10K. Bree had Pia on the bike, and so they came with me. But we all got the flu. So Pia's been sick, and I got sick. You might be able to hear it a bit still. Just headaches, kind of clogged up, sore throat, non-COVID stuff, but just the old school kind of man flu. But yeah, we got out long run on Sunday, so I did 26K. The group I was the first one to stop actually, so the others went 28 and 32. This was a funny little run because it was like a bit of a campaign photo shoot thing for the New Balance More version 4. New Balance and the running companies wanted to highlight like a training group and take some pics of them on their long run, wearing the shoe and just sort of show a traditional running group doing a traditional Sunday long run, rather than using like models that have no idea about running and taking their photo while they're stretching on staircases in the middle of the city or whatever. This is actual genuine sort of content. And I'm all for it. I thought it was good. So Riley Wolf, the Wolverine, came down and took some pictures on our we didn't change our long run at all. He kind of just has like a four-wheel drive that someone was driving, and he's in the back of it, and we just went on our normal, or one of our routes, and he took pics the whole way. I didn't even do my hair in the morning, just like a normal Sunday. But that was my 97.5K. Good week. Pretty onto running again. Like I'm motivated.
You sound motivated. Getting fit. The blue bar's looking good here on Strava.
Oh, let me look at that. That'll get me up
from the 10 relays, and you're pretty kind of fit around then. You didn't have a bad run that day.
I reckon I got sick after that.
Yeah, June, July though, it's not. But they're not huge, but it's kind of consistent, probably 80, 90k average.
It's not a lot of running,
yeah,
but it's grounded me. Like it's got a good grounding where I can start to launch off. And it sounds ridiculous, but I can't think of myself as what I used to do. And now it's been a long enough period between March when I had the bone stress stuff and now I've almost forgotten what it's like to run at a high level, and it's been good for me because now I'm living in the current Julian fitness situation, and that is actually beneficial for me because emotionally I can deal with it, and I can get excited about little fitness gains that would have been depressing a year ago.
Yeah, that's good. You sound positive too. Sounds happy. Everything's going well.
Free trip to Japan will do that for you.
Yeah. It sounds better than it is. It's like travelling for international races.
Yeah, bit of a work trip, Krugs.
It's kind of work, yeah. It's easy to stay at home, Krugs. I don't mind your idea of not doing too many races.
That was the one downside, hearing how terrible the travel over there and back was. It's like, I know what it's like, and I'm like, is it actually worth going over there to run like slower than I have, in the past? It's not that appealing.
Well, Toby went and then he didn't even get to race. Feel for him.
Yeah. He got stitched up real good.
Yeah.
Spent all the money, didn't I met with him yesterday actually, and we sort of planned out his year, and I felt bad. He's gone to Valencia, came back with 2 little tattoos, and that's all.
Oh, did he? What did he get?
He didn't show me actually.
Okay.
Didn't tell me.
Yeah, it's just, I think I messaged you guys when I was at the airport on the way over saying like how good it is to travel without kids, like how much easier it is, but it's still bloody hard. It still takes so long. And those seats, like I'm only little and I still felt like I had no space. Imagine being 6 foot trying to sit in economy. We need Ash Watson to fill us in on how he does that like business class credit card point scoring thing. There should be some kind of hack around that.
There is. You've just got to spend about 6 hours a day filling out application forms.
All right, I'll get him to do that for us next time and throw him $100. Anyway, Krugs, we've got Mono coming in about 15 minutes. I don't think you're going to take that long to go through your week, but take us through what's been happening.
So Monday I got out for 10.5k at 4:33s. My shin was feeling good, no pain, pretty good afterwards as well. So then Tuesday afternoon went out to join the group out at the horse track, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to do a session or not. I was going to do the warm-up and then see how things felt. So did a warm-up with the guys, the 20 minutes at 4:50s, and then their session was 5:4321 off a 75-second jog. And if the quickest guy there, is like currently sort of 10-minute 3K runner. So I thought, strides felt fine. So decided to jump in with him. Session felt like my heart rate was through the roof. Like I just don't, physiologically, I just don't understand how it works in that my heart rate almost hit 180. Like I can't hit 180 when I'm fit, but I could have spoken this whole session. It was, relatively warm. But in terms of the session, I ran like 5 minutes at, 5 minutes at 3:40s, 4 minutes at 3:36s, 3 minutes at 3:32s, 2 minutes at 3:20s, and 1 minute at 3:05. So from a pace point of view, it was super comfortable. Didn't have any pain in my shin. So then just did a 10-minute cool down. But then got home, got out of the car, and once it had cooled down, it was a bit tender. So I knew that I'd overdone it. And I guess it's just one of those injuries where I probably could have just kept jogging for another week, maybe slowly introduce some sessions, but I obviously just came back too quick. So I just decided that I wasn't going to go through this constant cycle of, week on, a week of jogging, overdo it, and then need to take some time off. So I just took the rest of the week off just to try and get on top of it. And it's feeling pretty good now. I could pretty much hop. So I was told once you can hop for 30 seconds, and it doesn't hurt at all, you can start jogging. but I probably just need to jog a little bit longer before I get back into sessions. So my goal is to start jogging again this week, and pretty much just jog for the rest of December, and hope that by the time I get to the 1st of January, I'm good to go in terms of a bit more structure.
That's good.
Yeah.
In the right direction.
Yeah. So I'm not too fussed. Like I've missed a good month of training now, so it doesn't really matter. I reckon once you get unfit, it doesn't matter if you take another 3 weeks off. It's going to feel the same coming back.
Yeah, it's not a bad feeling when you come back too. Like you just you'll do that same session in 2 weeks and be completely different.
Yeah, and look, I injured my calf exactly this time last year, and I basically didn't run until the end of January because the calf then turned into COVID. So if I'm jogging like this week and I just jog until the start of January, like I'm way ahead of where I was at the start of this year, and the first half of this year ended up being pretty good. So yeah.
Hey, Krugs, you mentioned last week that you chatted to Ben Liddy, and he said that he never heard of the diagnosis that you've were given by the original physio.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you reckon you got maybe stitched up a bit with the wrong call?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe. Like it when I think about all the symptoms and everything, like it does make more sense that it's, that medial tibial stress syndrome, and that it probably scared me a little bit more, knowing that, if I didn't respect it, it could potentially turn into a stress reaction. At the end of the day, I think the recovery for it is exactly the same, whether it was, and because my physio was actually sending me emails, just checking up on how it was, and I was giving him feedback. And actually just after I did the session on Tuesday, I sort of said to him, look, I don't know whether it's worth continuing to just jog, or do I just take more time off to try and get it 100%? And so his advice was to just, take more time, especially when there's nothing that you're training for in the short term. You're better off just giving it the time that it needs.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, but I also the thing I like about having a break is, like, mentally and physically, I'm starting, like, I just feel really fresh. Like, I'm feeling motivated to get out and train, and I do like that progress. So when I started back at the start of this year, like, I was the most unfit I've been for like 15 years, I reckon. But then just seeing that gradual improvement, like week on week, like it only took me probably 6 weeks of, decent training to get in good shape again. So, yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at.
It's rewarding when you see it like that. Let's thank some Patreon supporters, hey? Do you want to kick things off, Crocs? Steve?
Yep, so I've got Stephen Garland. Stephen lives in Diss in England. He's got PBs of 17:56 for 5K, 37:25 for 10, 80:19 for the half marathon, and he ran 2:57 at this year's London Marathon. He started running in 2015 after his mother passed away from cancer, and after building up his fitness over a couple of years, he then started running events to raise money for charity. He's a foreman mechanic, I believe, and has a couple of kids. So thanks for your support, Stephen.
Love that.
Thank you, Steve.
Pretty special connection, doesn't he, with the sport?
Yeah.
Who you got?
I've got a Melbourne Uni Athletic Club member. So one of Zach's teammates, Daniel Brundell, sub 3 hour marathoner. So 2:53 at 2009 Melbourne Marathon. He's a strategy consultant, economic insights at Accenture. What's Accenture?
No idea. I'd say some kind of
Company.
business, yeah.
A company. Oh, yeah. Good. That's insightful, Croaks. Economic insights from Croaks. He has a PhD in philosophy from Monash Uni, originally from the Netherlands. And you've got a couple of other facts on him? Do you, Croaks?
Well, just the one that Zach has sent through, that supposedly he brought the term big boy to Melbourne University Athletics Club, and that then progressed into people rating how much of a big boy each person was. So I asked Zaka over the weekend how much of a big boy Zaka was, and he said he was a small boy. So anyway, that's
Wouldn't be many big boys in that club.
Nah, that is a small boy area there. Maybe you think Hamish, he was a big boy, but I'm not sure Hamish still kicks around.
But is it big boy in terms of like size, like physical size, or like how good they are at running?
Nah, they spelled it BOI, so it's more your personality, I think, than your like complex.
Yeah, okay.
Then your what?
Than like your build.
Oh, then your complex.
Yeah, I've been working on my vocab since I've been away, Moose. I'm going to thank Christian Bergin from, we think he is a Norwegian living in Stockholm. PB is a 23:43 for 5K, 10K 49:06, where he ran that at the Midnight Track 10K in 2022. Half marathon, 1 hour 50 at the 2018 Edinburgh Half. Lots of skiing photos on his Strava. Think he may be a senior analyst at Entercard Group AB and has a master's degree in economics. Mm-hmm. They're smart Patreon supporters, aren't they? We said it before, I'll say it again. Some highly qualified people. A couple of, economics professors there tonight as well.
Just real white collar listeners, aren't they?
Did I tell you I met not all the Norwegian supporters, but a lot of the Norwegian Patreon supporters the day before Valencia?
How were they? Were they funny?
Mate, legends. Great blokes. Yeah, they all rocked up in their super shoes though. That shows how well they're going with the economics. Like, I was like, am I here the wrong day? Why is everyone wearing their race shoes? They were just wearing them in before the race, but a very friendly bunch of people over there, the Norwegians, so it was great to meet a few of them in person.
Well, we only know one really, don't we, which is Christian.
He's still the king of them all, though. They all surround him like he is the king.
Sometimes I wonder if they're all, don't have a sense of humour like him. If they're all a bit boring and vanilla.
You know what gets me? When you're jogging along with them all and they start talking Norwegian to each other and you're like, are you guys slagging me off and I've got no idea what happens?
Fucking rude that is, I reckon. You can't be talking your own language in front of other people.
There's a lot more Norwegians than Australians there, so you could probably do that.
Well, maybe in Norway you can, but they're in Spain. They're running with people that don't know the language.
Start talking Spanish, I reckon, if you're in that country.
You can race on the official World Championship course at World Cross Country Bathurst 23. There's 3 days of action-packed mass races from February 17 to 19, 2023 at Mount Panorama. Race in the Golden Ticket events, run with your club as part of the club's challenge, or compete in the historic World Masters Athletics Championship races. Something for everyone. On sale now at worldathleticscrosscountry.com. Use the code INSIDERUNNING10 before January 7 to get 10% off your entry fees.
What do you reckon, Croaks? We've got 2.5 minutes until Steve Moneghetti's going to be joining us. Should we quickly go with European cross country?
Yeah, or why not, Moose, do those 2 ones down in blue, because they're pretty quick pieces to get through.
Yeah. So, you're a bit old now, but Kipchoge, that's Eluid Kipchoge, is running the Boston Marathon. And that's in, April?
Yep.
Yeah, 17th.
17th of April, 2023. So it's going to be the first hilly marathon, I reckon, that Kipchoge's ever run. So that will be fun to watch, and it's very much a raced marathon, kind of like a championship style normally.
No paces.
Not paced, and it's no time trial style marathon. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see. I can't imagine he'll be a slouch on the hills.
No. I reckon he runs a few in training.
Yeah, I reckon too, and he's got some cross-country pedigree, doesn't he?
How does it pan out, though, without his boys pacing him? Does he chill and then make it hard from 25 to 42?
He's won the last 2 Olympics.
Yeah.
In that kind of manner, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done. I don't think he needs that. He's metronomic. I mean, the one thing you could say is that race at London where he got towed up by all the guys surrounding him and kind of flooded him. That's probably the only kind of question, or it's the only flaw or chink in his resume at the moment.
He doesn't want it too slow though, does he? Like, he doesn't want a last 5K kick down.
I don't think he'll let that.
Yeah, I think he needs to do damage and then be solo for the last 4 or 5K.
And he'd like to have the course record there, I'm sure.
Need good weather though, don't you?
What Boston need to do is they need to get the guy who won Valencia to rock up. That'll be good.
Mate, he was just doing a tempo too that day.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Well, they already invite all the previous winners back, so they got a pretty deep field there. But some of those guys are kind of like haven't done much for a few years. Like DeCisa, for example, like he's on the start list as a previous winner, but he hasn't run well for a while.
No, he hasn't run. No, not for a long while. He was in
Doha.
Doha,
He
yeah.
won Doha.
No, Valencia. He was at a recent race. I saw that.
A lot of DNFs the last couple of years.
Yeah, he was in a recent one though, and I remember thinking, that's not a really significant name that will be winning anymore.
Yeah, he pulled out of a half in the US.
Valencia half, wasn't it? Didn't you do the Valencia half? Or was it? Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That same guy that won Valencia Marathon did the Valencia half in I think he ran 63.
Yeah, nothing sus there. The other
Quickly
news,
do that, and I'm getting mono organised.
Yeah, the other news: World Athletes of the Year. So track and field, I guess, the sport they're looking at here. World champions and world record breakers: Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. She got married and added a name.
Yeah, she did. Yep.
And Mondo Duplantis have been named World Athletes of the Year.
Hard to
Kipchoge
argue.
normally win that, doesn't he?
Well,
Sydney has.
Yeah, but this year, Sydney McLaughlin's hard to beat her year.
And that 400 runner, was that the year before? Karsten Warmhole?
Oh, yeah, 4 hurdles.
That was the Olympics, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did pretty good that year.
Kipchoge should be expected, I know there's no money in it for him, but to win the world champs. Because that's what all the track people have to do.
Oh, to win this award.
So I know he's broken the world record this year and won Berlin and Tokyo, but he didn't rock up to the World Athletics Champs.
Yeah, right.
So I think that would be a strike against his name.
I don't really care about
This is
it.
a nothing award. It should just be distance running. Anyway, boys, I'm going to try add in the great man, Steve Moneghetti. We've got some questions here we have to ask him, but I've got a couple of curly ones for him as well. You guys got a few?
I got a good one here.
You got a few questions for him as well?
Boys,
Steve Moneghetti, thank you for giving up some time for the Inside Running podcast. Welcome.
thank you. Lovely to be along, team.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you again. I was thinking before we started, we hear from you pretty often, but it's always in a different capacity. This time it's for the World Cross Country Champs. It's been Melbourne Marathon before. We've talked to you about Berlin and your London marathons before, and just a general interview. So it's good to hear your voice again.
It's nice. I love it when, what am I normally? I'm the first choice. I'm the guest programmer, but I never am.
You certainly are in our books. Hey, Mona, a few quick questions before we get to the stuff that we need to talk to you about. Super Sunday last weekend when the Australian records went down. How'd you feel about it? Where were you getting the news from? Must have been pretty exciting.
It was unbelievably exciting. I think it sort of snuck up on me a little bit, I've got to say. I kind of was thinking, year end, and I obviously I knew the guys and girls were running, but I probably didn't expect they would run that fast. I always thought Valencia probably after the half would be a pretty quick marathon, but I probably didn't expect Robbo to run quite as well in Fukuoka, so that was a little bit of surprise. But, geez, I was just wrapped, really happy. And I know it bumps me down one on the men's list, obviously, and, some people could say, Australian record, all that sort of stuff, but I was just so delighted for Robbo. I've known Robbo for a long time, and he's had his ups and downs, and it was just, I think it was just a fitting for him to finally have a massive breakthrough. And he's sort of done it on the back of London as well. I mean, my sort of query was I could never back up, a couple of months later and run 2.5 minute PB like he did in Fukuoka. But I love the symmetry of Deke doing it there in 81 and, 41 years later, on the same day, I think, 41 years later, Robbo does it. And then, obviously, Sinead, then a couple of hours later. What is the chances? We've waited 16 and 36 years and we get them within almost 2 hours. It's just incredible. So I was absolutely just beside myself and really, really delighted for both of them.
Yeah, and on the Australian record, the men's one, Can you we get a question, it often comes into our inbox, why Deeks was the Australian record on the downhill course and why yours wasn't. Can you explain that? Because I never have. I think, Moose, you tried to explain it last week on the show, talking about it was an era before Boston wasn't allowed for qualifications. Is that right, Mona?
Well, here's my take on it. And you won't hear this from anyone but me. Deeks, the legend, he's the godfather, so we let Deek have the record. And I kind of, I don't have the half marathon record, or didn't even before Robbo broke the hour, but I sort of think, it was kind of Darren Wilson and my downhill course. I had 3 downhill half records. So I kind of feel like I'm kind of the cross-country half record holder or best runner. Deke's the best male marathon runner. Benita's the best female. So we all kind of just shared it, and I was happy to let Deke have it, whether it's downhill or what. I ran Boston, and I'll tell you, it's not an easy course. You run 2:7:51 on that, you deserve to have been the Australian record holder for 36 years, I reckon. So that's kind of my take on it. And, I think we're all happy with that. And now it obviously, takes it to another level, and it's genuine, and we can all say, well, whatever it was. And now we move on upward and onwards for Australian marathon running.
Yeah, that's it. Do you think it's like opening the floodgates now? You think we'll see it go down a bit in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I definitely do. And by coincidence, there's a state memorial for John Landy this time next week, actually. Is it Tuesday next week? So just over a week away. And, that 4-minute mile, and once Bannister went under, John, and, then sort of lots of people, I think, what was it, 7 did it within bloody 6 months or something. So I'm really sensing now that it's probably made people just step up, but it also allows people to believe, and there is so much in belief. We all know that Robbo's, capable. He's, 59, 50, half, or he's 10K, so, and Jack Rayner, and we know Sinead, Jess, Lisa, Ali, we've had a fantastic era of women distance runners that have, we thought, gee, how come they're only running 2:24 when the world record's 2:14? Now we know, hey, 2:21, we're in the realms of what people can do, and I think that will really give a lot of confidence to the current generation, but more importantly, to the next generation, which, is exciting for me with Commonwealth Games here in regional Victoria, and obviously then that green and gold runway to Brizzy 10 years away.
You come around quick. Hey, talking World Cross Country Championships, I hope this research is correct. 11 World Cross Country Championships between 1985 and 2004 for you. You've had 5 top 20 finishes, and 2 of those were top 10. Is that all correct, Mona?
I actually thought I only went to 10, but I'll take 11.
Take 11, because my man doing the research reckons it's 11.
It was always close because Sean, I think, went to 9, and I think I was always I felt like I was probably just sneaking ahead of him. And I love my world cross country, and you would not talk to a more passionate person about cross country. It was my first ever race out at Lake Burrumbeet Racecourse. Was a cross country race on the racecourse out there. Won a couple of Australian cross countries. One of my best races probably ever was up at Ipswich. I've been beaten by Mel Norwood at Bundoora, which never happened because Bundoora was my backyard. It was just where I wasn't allowed to be beaten because that was my course, and Mel beat me in the Vic titles, and I had a point to prove, went to the Nationals up in Ipswich and smashed him and a few others, and I think I won, seriously, I don't know, by a long way anyway, enough to prove that I was the best cross-country runner. And World Cross, that 4th and 6th, 4th in Stavanger, but probably the 6th in Boston, in the snow in Boston was probably one of my great runs up at Bear Park, I think it was, up in Boston, and I was not far away. I remember I was about a K to go, and I was sitting, John and Gugud ran away, and I was about 3rd or 4th, and I thought, geez, I'm an outside chance to medal. I looked around, there was about 5 Africans sitting on me that had all ran about 3:30 for 1,500. I'm thinking, maybe that medal was not going to happen. Hung on and battle, ran really well and finished 6th, and so my world cross country performances. I think I post something the other day because my first international race, basically Australian team, was world cross country in Portugal in Lisbon in '85, and someone reminisced about Carlos Lopez winning that day, and I said, yeah, I also finished first, 101st, because that is a fact. That was where I placed, 101st, and went away, trained my ass off, and came back 12 months later to Neuchâtel in Switzerland in 86 and jumped up to 22nd, and, you know, that was sort of the start of my international career.
Sorry, Brady, Mono, we were having some beers one day. Collis was there. Collis was there. You were there. There was a few of us, and the conversation got on to world cross country, and someone brought up Collis coming 8th, and you looked over like funny at him, and you said, "Oh, you came 8th at world cross country," and everyone sort of said, "Oh, you should have known that." And he goes, "Oh, well, I came 5th. I don't care about anyone who came higher than that."
Well, it is funny, and it's not an arrogant thing to say, but you never forget the people who finish ahead of you. Like, you don't ever remember the ones behind you, mate.
No, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Hey, Mona, we've got a lot of recreational runners who would see major championships as world champs, Olympics, Com Games when they come around, but may not have a lot of experience watching world cross country, often because it's on all hours of the night and a bit hard to access on the mainstream TV. But now it's coming to Australia. How does the whole championship experience compare to those other ones like Com Games, World Champs and Olympics?
Oh, it's massive. It is absolutely massive, and it's my favourite race in the world. And, you know, you got 200 of the best athletes from 1,500 metres steeple right through to the marathon, and they're all lining up, and it's the most nervous I ever am or ever was in the gates at the start of a world cross country. It was like the start of the Melbourne Cup, and we were 2 by 2. There was 8 of us, and we'd line up, and 2 by 2, 4 rows of 2, and I'd be up the front, even though I wasn't the quickest out of the gates, as everybody knows. But it was kind of it was my rite of passage. I was allowed to be number one, and then when we'd go, oh my God, that first K was like nothing you ever experienced before. It is just like, you know, free beer at the end of the straight. People were going berserk, and I think I'd run flat out, and I'd be about 50th at the first turn, and we'd sort of be corralled into this little turn, and away we'd go, and the race was on. It is just an absolute treat to run in a world cross country, and hardest, toughest, meanest race going around, but fantastic spectacle. And gee, if there's anyone out there who wants to have an absolute treat, Saturday, Sunday, 17th, 18th of Feb next year in Bathurst, wow, where else would you want to be? Or 18th and 19th, sorry. So where else would you want to be? Because we've got it here in Australia, one of the greatest spectacles in running in the world.
Mona, as you know, there's a Masters World Champs race this year at Bathurst. Given how well you're running as a Masters athlete, will we see you racing there, or will you be doing the golden ticket race on the Friday to earn a spot for Saturday's World Champs race? So if you do the golden ticket race, that might be your 11th World Cross if you've only been to 10.
Well, what a great concept. I love the theory. I'm thinking about it, but no, it's probably going to be my next focus race, I'd say, and I'm really keen. Sean Crichton and I have spoken about it. Krishna Stanton, who I've helped out a little bit, coached to a world record herself in the marathon in London. She's going to probably run, and I think we'll probably get a good relay team going on the Saturday, and then run the individual race on Sunday. And yeah, if my body stays in one piece, I'm on the start line. I'm looking forward to it. It'd be fantastic. Why, you can go, you can watch, or you can be a part of it. There's mass participation races, masters races, golden ticket, as you say. Schools events, relays. It's just a plethora of events over the weekend, and it'll be something to really focus on for me, I reckon.
Yeah. So what are the amateurs like? What are they? They're going to race on the Saturday, aren't they, Mona? What are they in for?
Yeah. So you can do park run. You can do a fun run on the Friday. There's a hot lap. You can do a hot lap as well. So the 2K circuit. And there's a schools competition, so you basically can run and then watch obviously, you stay around and you watch the best runners in the world, men's and women's, go around in the men's and women's under 20 events, and then the 2 senior races, they've been put back just a little bit, so an hour later than the normal time, just in case it's a little bit warm, because as we know, February in Bathurst could be quite warm. So, yeah, that's the plan at the moment. But there's races for everybody to run, but then, we'd be delighted for you to stay around and watch the main events. And there's a relay there, which just quietly, a mixed relay, 2K, 2 men and 2 women. Gee, I don't know. I reckon Australia, we might have a pretty solid crack at that one.
Yeah, I think Croaks picked that 3 weeks ago, didn't you, Brad? You reckon we're going to win that?
Yeah,
Horse, Stewie, Lyndon, Jess Hull. He's picked the team as well, mate.
Yeah, well, we're all hoping. That sounds good. And I tell you, they're not easy to win. And one of the greatest treats in my... How long have we got? I'll tell a little...
However you want.
I was coaching a lady, Ruth Barton, here in Ballarat, Ruth Barnett, as she is now, and she said, you're still running pretty well. Why don't you come down to Yarra Bend? I'm running the Nationals. You might as well just come watch and maybe have a run. And so I went down to Yarra Bend. It was in Victoria, and I remember running. I don't know, maybe it was 2003, and was running pretty well, and watched her run, and then jumped in the men's race and ended up winning and crossed the finish line. And they said, if you win the Nationals, you automatically go to World Cross Country. I said, mate, I'm retired. I'm not going to World Cross Country. And they said, it's in Ireland. I said, I've never been to Ireland. As you boys know, I love my Guinness. So I thought, yep, I'm off to Ireland. As it turns out, foot and mouth or mad cow disease broke out. They changed it from Ireland to Brussels. And I thought, I don't really want to go to Brussels, but anyway, I'll go. I went and saw Benita win the World Cross Country, which I didn't think I'd ever see in my lifetime. So fantastic to be there to watch Benita cross the line, break away from the Ethiopians, cross the line and win the World Cross Country. An Australian winning the World Cross Country, wow, one of the highlights of my life.
So, Mono, what does it take to be a good cross-country runner? Like, what's different about a good cross runner versus a good track runner?
Yeah, I think light on your feet, and, it can be sort of muddy and rough in places. So if you're light on your feet, you seem to be nimble, and you can take the breaks in the course. There's lots of twists and turns, ups and downs. So you've got to be able to get your rhythm back. So you've got to have a capacity to not be sort of on the road. You get in a beautiful rhythm on the track. They lead you around if you're paced, and you've got that rhythm, and it doesn't get broken. But in cross country, you are always getting something on the course that's breaking your rhythm. So it's a capacity to be able to hold that get that rhythm back once it's been broken. And also, I think an underrated thing about cross country is that there's downhill. Everyone remembers the uphill, and Thunder is a good example. I wasn't the best uphill runner in Australia. I wasn't the best over the top of a hill in Australia. I wasn't best down the other side. Put the 3 components together, I was unbeatable. And that's why I was so good over cross country. Light on my feet. If it was muddy and wet, I seemed to be able to not quite walk on water, but walk on mud. And, that really helped me get across pretty tough, rough ground. And it's no coincidence that 4th I placed in Stavanger was on a muddy golf course that was pretty tough on most competitors, and I revelled in it.
Mona, have you seen much or run over the course? Have you been there in person yet? Because I think it's pretty special that, if you enter one of these mass participation races, you're on the same course. Like, it's pretty rare in elite sport that you get to be on the same course as the World Championships. Like, you can't go play footy on the MCG or soccer in the World Cup stadiums in Doha at the moment. Like, this is pretty special that anyone can enter and be on the same courses.
True. And on the day when the course is set out, exactly at the time, it's pretty challenging to be. I have been up there. I haven't run over the exact course, but I've been there, and I went for a run around the vicinity. So I know where the vineyard is. I know where the car park is, so where we'll start and finish. And so there's not a lot of flat ground. It's kind of undulating. It's either up or down. There's a couple of flat spots across the top, but if you're doing a few laps, 1 lap, fine. 2nd lap, those hills are starting to eat away at me. 3rd and 4th laps, 5th lap, you'll be really starting to feel it. So I think it'll be a fair course. I think the best runners will win and go well, and that's what I like about it. It'll show off a lot of, we've got a bit of Australiana there. We've got beach, Billabong, a few different areas just to make sure we bring that Australian flavour to it as well. So it'll be a spectator's delight and probably a running challenge, I would suggest, which is good.
Yeah, are you? I'm not sure if you can say yes or no to this one, but are you on the panel at all that picks the Australian teams?
I'm not a selector, no.
Selector,
I
that's the word.
I'm on the board of Athletics Australia, and I'm also on the organising committee for the World Cross Country, so I'm a little bit biased, but I think you can tell through my voice, I love cross country, and I'm so delighted that we've got the World Cross Country here in Australia. We've fought for a long time. We almost got in Ballarat after Commonwealth Games. We had a course here in Ballarat that we thought if the athletes stay, we might have a chance to get it here in Australia in 2006, but that didn't happen. But here we are. We've got it finally after a couple of delayed years in Bathurst in 2023. So I'm looking forward to it.
Any who do you think is going to make the team, Mona? Who's your top six?
Best cross-country runners in Australia. And we've got the trial on Stromlo in January 15, and I'm sure all you guys will be up there and running, watching, having a go to try and make that team, because I think we'll have a pretty strong team. I'm just sensing that it'll be really well supported, and the rumours, Stewie and Ollie in the shorter events, and we've got some really good cross-country runners, pure cross-country runners, and that can be a bit different. You look at someone like Andy Buchanan, who's now moved across to the marathon. Wow, but he was just a beautiful cross-country runner. Joel Tobin, I remember Joel running really well over cross-country. So sometimes some of the people you least expect are very good cross-country runners. It may not necessarily be men and women who will be prominent on the road or track. So it really, and the depth of the team, and the World Cross Country, its main focus is where the team finishes, and that's what I used to love. I sometimes didn't remember where I finished, because what I was concerned about was where our last scorer would finish. And I do remember one story of, I think I can tell this. I remember, we in the olden days, we used to we'd have the rubber band and the tag on, and we'd cross the finish line, and we'd stay in the chute in the same order, and you'd move up, and they'd take your tag off and put it on the spike, and that's where you finished. And I remember Nick De Castella was having a really tough run, and he was out the back, and anyway he collapsed right at the finish line. They put him on a stretcher, and they took him down sort of outside the chute, because they had to get him to the medical area. And just as he went past the person who was collecting the tags, they sort of turned over and grabbed his tag. He jumped up about 50 places. I think we jumped up about 40 in the team's event. True story.
What's the hardest cross-country course you've ever run?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Hardest cross-country course I've ever competed in. I've never been to Nowra or any of the really tough ones. So
there you go, boys. See Nowra.
Isn't that one of the easy ones, Mona?
Nah, Nowra used to be real tough.
We had the
he's never done it.
We had the argument, Mona, that Bundoora was so much harder than Nowra. Vic boys against New South Wales boys on here.
Yeah, we're not allowed to admit it. Yeah. I think the Ballier Golf Course up in Bendigo, I didn't run that, but I ran around it pretty hard. Gee, that was tough. I remember Darren Wilson smashed everybody up there in the men's event, and I heard that was pretty tough, and I just felt it myself that it had a lot of steep climbs in it. So that was up there, I think, in Victoria. Just trying to think, mate. I'm letting you down.
You used to do the one was it the one in Italy where you went through the house,
the barns.
The
barns.
Oh, you love that race. That was just the greatest race, where we went through people's backyards and sheds and families having afternoon tea. It's true. It's still being run now, and it's one of the world's great races. It used to be on just after World Cross Country, and we used to hang around, and Australians ran really well. I think they might have even won it one year, and remember running against Galindo, Bourdin, Panetta, and again you hear all these stories, but I was running along and I was beating a couple of Italians, and they were all yelling out, "Die, die, die." I thought, that's not very nice, but it's okay, because in Italian it means go. Moneghetti, they love it there, mate.
Speaking of the Aussie team, Brady, one thing that a lot of Aussies don't realise is that two of our current crop have won the NCAA cross country, which is a pretty hard race to win. So Pat Tiernan won it, and so did Morgan McDonald.
Did you?
And I'd expect both those boys to be running at the trial.
Yeah, did you hear my theory? Because I think it's only first three at the trial are guaranteed. I was thinking because of the short turnaround from breaking the Australian marathon records, that Sinead and Brett should be just straight on the team. Did you think anything about that? Because it's going to be a short turnaround for them to go to the trials. I think if you're good enough to break the Australian Marathon record, that shows cross-country strength. Put them on the team, Mona. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking, and rewards excellence, and their profile's high at the moment, so they'd be a draw card, which, and we need that in our sport. And, cross-country is not something that grabs people's imaginations, but I tell you, if you're there and watching it, if you've been to a cross-country race, boys, you'll know it's just an unbelievable spectacle. So that I like the way you're thinking, and it really supports them, and would encourage them to not rush back, because they're obviously, I think it's important that they revel in the joy of what they've just done, but also give their bodies a good opportunity to recover. And we'd love to have them on the team. And I think they'd probably both make the team. So it's really just trying to find a way that we can get them on the team. Like you say, they might not be quite right for the trial, but they'd certainly be in great shape come World Cross in Feb.
Yeah, and you got 6 spots, don't you? But you're right, like spectators, and that's what we're trying to do here, trying to get as many listeners as possible to get on the course, because you get so close to the action. Like, you're not sitting in stands that are 50, 80 metres away. Like, you can touch them, reach out and touch them if you wanted to. Like, it's going to be, I'm so excited. It's going to be an amazing race to watch.
And it's only a 2K loop, Brady.
Yeah,
so you get to see them come through every 6 minutes or so.
And we always watch these guys on YouTube. You rarely get to see them in real life, and they're going to be even more impressive in real life.
And sometimes you can even cut across. So you might see them 2 or 3 times on a lap, believe it or not. If you're quick enough, you can sneak around and see them at different points. And they are flying, but there'll be packs, and it's such sort of man on man, woman on woman running that you're really close up to it. And you almost like my best analogy is it's like watching cycling at the velodrome. You can almost hear the bikes hitting and the bumps, and you get a lot of that just being out on the course.
Very good, Mona. The last question I've got here is related to your world record. Well, we think it's a world record. We were talking about it before we got you on tonight. The 5K a couple of weeks ago at the Collingwood Classic. Congratulations. Do you know any more about if it's going to be accepted, ratified as a world record?
No, I'm doing all the paperwork, so I've sent a bit of stuff off. And there's sort of, there's a few. I didn't think so when I heard that, on the night, I was really wrapped with how I ran, I've got to say. I didn't think I could run 3:11s for 5K anymore. And, I knew I was going pretty well, but I thought I was more in the 16. So to run 15:52 and go through in, the 9:31 as well, I was really happy. And, in a competitive race, I really acquitted myself well. So I lifted and got the best out of myself, and sort of, I was pumping the air, and then I sort of heard that it may not be ratified. And I was a bit sort of flat then, but I've heard since there might be a chance because there's different standards for masters. And let's be honest, I know I'm the fastest male 60-year-old ever, and if it's not sanctioned or ratified, well, who cares? I know I'm the quickest ever. So
why isn't it sanctioned, Mona? Do you know what was wrong with the night?
I think there's a few things. I think it wasn't ratified. It was a Victorian permit meet, so I can claim Victorian records, but not a national ratified meet. It was only 6 lanes, and although we did have hand timing, so there was Athletics Victoria. We had really good referees, technical officials, and timing, but the hand timing, so there wasn't electronic timing, and I'm not sure any other reason. I think it was more the standard of the meet, so the 6 lanes is what I'm hearing. But in my mind, it was still 400-metre track, and I ran 12 and a half times around.
Did you pull up a ride after wearing spikes, Mona?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my right calf, which I haven't had, I had calf problems a couple of years ago, but it was always my left one, but my right one's giving me bloody grief, I tell you. I love the spikes, and there's no doubt I ran faster because of them, and thanks to Nathan Pisco, I'll give a shout out to Nathan who paced me and helped me out in the race, and everyone that was there that night was so supportive. I had a pretty good crowd. I had I had Emma, my daughter, and Matthew, my son, there, and Emma's partner Richard was there, and he's good mates with some bloke, Stewie McSwain. Have you heard of him? He come down and he was watching Claudia run, I think, but he happened to be there as well. So I had a good crowd. Gee, I had a superstar cheering me on.
Good cheer squad.
I had to do the business. He laughed at me when I pulled the spikes out, so I had to show him I meant business.
Oh, I love it, Mono. We can do this all day, but I do have to get a few mentions in here. The ticket and mass race entries are now on sale at worldathleticscrosscountry.com. You can use the code INSIDERRUNNING10 by January 7th, 2023 to get 10% off your mass race entry as well. Mono, we could do this all day. One last question, actually. I think you saw the Killers on the weekend. What was the best song in their set?
I did. All these things that I have done. It's a family favourite, mate. We love it. I've got soul. I'm not a soldier, but I've got soul.
yeah.
I'm not a soldier. We all know it's a sing-along. It's fantastic.
That's good.
People think I went to Billy Joel, but no, not the old stuff. Killers. Keep it young.
Thanks for your time, Mono. We appreciate you at the Inside Running Podcast.
Loved it. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Mono. Cheers, mate. All right, boys. I didn't ask you earlier what are you thinking event-wise? Moose, are you going to... Oh, you'll be post-marathon in Japan.
No, I'll be pre-marathon.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Rustbuster.
Week before, probably.
And, Croaks, will you do the Masters race?
Don't know. I'll see. I'd probably just do because there's the Masters World Champs race, but there's also just a mass race. So I think to be eligible for the Masters one, you have to be registered with Masters Athletics.
Oh, you can't just use your AV registration?
No, I think you need to be registered with Masters as well.
Oh, what's that cost, do you know?
Don't know. But they also just a race, I guess it's like a fun run instead of a World Championships.
When does Masters start at?
35, Moose. I turn 35 in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
that's the one I'm eyeing off.
I don't like that.
Imagine from the lows of Valencia to world cross-country Masters champion.
Mate, I wish I had asked Mono his opinion on Masters at 35. He was going to World Cross at 45.
He was. Let's get back on the rails for this show. We might cut listener question, Croaks. I know you cut it last week, but we'll cut it again because this episode's going to go for about 2.5 hours with the Sinead interview at the end. So we might just wrap up this runner news and then go Moose on the loose. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Take us to European cross-country first. Jakob Ingebrigtsen got the win. Emil Caress was second, the Great Britain athlete, and Isaac Kameli from Belgium was third. Kameli, I think that's exactly what I said. So Jakob won. I think he's only won gold medals at European Cross, all through the juniors, and now as a senior athlete the last couple of times. It's just a clean set of gold medals. Did say in the media afterwards that he won't be attending World Cross Country in Australia. Kind of said the trip was too far and it would affect his Budapest World Championships preparation, which I thought was a bit weak from Jakob. I know I'm a big Norwegian fan over there, but it's what we've got to do on this side of the world. Make the effort to go to Europe, go to America, stuff like that. You know, Stewie's got to make that trip to go to Budapest World Champs. I reckon if you want to represent your country at the highest level, exactly what Steve Moneghetti was just talking about, book the plane ticket. I'm sure he's flying first class. Like, it wouldn't be that hard, Jakob. So if you're listening, change your mind. Get down into Bathurst. In the women's race, Karoline Grovdal from Norway. She won again, wasn't it? Back-to-back winners, both of them. Kosterhausen from Germany was second. It was a pretty close race. She came off that 60... Oh, she ran 65 something, maybe 65 high at Valencia half marathon, so she's fit. And Alina Ree from Germany was third. So two of the three Germans on the podium there. Amazing race. It looked good. I see the young kid, was it Hicks from the UK, who won the NCAA title. He won the under-23 race as well. They'll put him in the open team, you'd assume, for World Cross Country Champs if he wants to come.
You'd think so.
He'll be
do they not have trials, or do they just pick him?
Not sure if they've got trials. They probably do. But you'd think this would have a bit of weight to it too, wouldn't you, where you finish at Europeans.
Yeah. Did you see this course?
Yeah, they ran through a museum.
They ran through a castle. It's like castle, I think. Or whatever.
I think it was a castle, not a museum.
It had like pictures on the wall and stuff, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, castles can have pictures on the wall.
It was probably like a tourist attraction castle or something.
Yeah, so they just put this like special like matting down through the corridors, and there's a photo of them coming out of the building. It looked pretty cool. I
didn't watch it, but I heard the coverage was really good as well. So
I watched the relay. It was really cool. So it was 2K each, male and female, and it alternated. So it went out male, female, female. And it was a really good race at the end. This Italian chick, Sabatini, had a lead going into the final leg and got caught up this pretty serious hills, and then she ended up coming from behind to win at the end. So she got caught, got dropped, re-caught him, and out-kicked on the line. It was incredible.
Did they have to do it in that gender order?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't like that. Yeah, you know, in the 4x400 mixed relay, they get to choose.
Yeah, they choose. I think they alternate every year. So last year it was women first, men second.
Yeah, that's something to get excited about too. Thinking about Bathurst, how that relay is going to pan out. Croaks, Kenya had their World Cross Country Trials.
Yeah, and so did, Uganda had their cross-country champs. I don't know whether that was their trial as well. But in the women's race for the Kenyan trials, Grace Loibach won the race. She was a relatively unknown 19-year-old. There weren't too many names I recognised from the top 6 of the women's, other than Irene Cheptai. She was the 2017 World Cross-Country champ, so she'll be on the team. And interesting fact, Kenya have won the past 7 women's titles at World Cross Country Championships. That's pretty impressive. In the men's race, Sebastian Kimaru, he won the race. He's also the guy that won that 1-hour Diamond League race, which Robbo started in Brussels. Daniel Abenyo will be part of the team. He finished, he's a silver medalist at this year's Com Games in the 10,000 metres. Kibiwot Candy also made the team, the former half marathon world record holder, and Jeffrey Kamwaro, a 2-time world cross country champ. He's returning from a stress fracture. He finished 6th in that race, which puts him on the team. In the Uganda cross country champs, Stella Chesang, she was the 2018 10,000 metre Com Games champ. She won the race. In the men's, Martin Kiprotich won, but interesting, his time was slower than the guy that won the under 20 10k race, and I think there's a few issues there because the under 20s race was only meant to be 8k, but they made it 10k, and so there was a couple of people that blew up real bad in that last 2k, so they're actually going to take that into consideration when they select their team. A couple of the Ugandan stars, Jakob Kiplimo, he was a late withdrawal. And Chep Guy has been injured with knee issues since World Champ. So I'm not sure whether we'll be seeing them at World Cross or not.
Hopefully they get right, picked on that team.
Yeah.
Because they were 1st and 2nd, weren't they? In Denmark?
Yeah, there's certainly 2 that Uganda would want on their team.
Yeah, for sure.
And surely they'd have something written in there like selection policy, like, you know, they'd be mad. If they're fit, they'll be there for sure, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they will be. That wraps up the news. Moose on the loose. Now, we got some, you guys, I'm not sure if you've seen the inbox. I checked the inbox when I got off the plane last week, I think it was, and there was a fiery email in there talking about Moose on the loose last week when you guys started talking about what clubs are paying people to fly down and this and that. And usually the emails that come in angry are all about Moose, but this one was directed at you, Croaks. I think you've got to do some research. I'm not sure if you're going to issue an official apology or anything now, but email has been received. I'm not sure where you're at with it though.
I've got some evidence to support myself, so I'll reply back to that. But yeah, when you guys were sending me the messages when it came through, I was out at Viv's work Christmas party and my phone's going off, and then I got home and read it. But yeah, no, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, more on that.
Careful, we're dealing with a real heavy hitter though, Croaks.
That's true, but yeah.
More on that potentially next week. Moose, have you got a moose on the loose?
Not really. Just I did buy something for my running this week.
Oh yeah, purchase of the week.
Was fun. Yeah, so purchase of the week is back, and things have got a bit tight around here lately. So not a lot of purchases, but I put my Oakleys, my running sunnies, on top of the car the other day and drove off. So that wasn't great, and I lost my running sunnies. So I upgraded to the new Oakley running sunnies, and there's a few different styles out there now. There's running sunnies have got a lot bigger recently. I don't know if you've noticed that, but they
what
used
are
to
yours
be
called? I want to see them while you're talking about it.
So you've got to Oak. Oh, hold up. There's a long name. Oak. Let me check my receipt.
Radar EV.
Are you getting paid for this plug, Moose?
No, I'm not.
Zaka Oakley would be great to hit up, actually, if you're listening.
Oakley, Sutro, light, sweep, vented.
Jeez.
So these are good-looking sunnies.
Bit to type in.
And they're comfortable. Yeah.
They're a bit yuck. Not as expensive as I thought they would have been.
I got the black
They look
band
similar
with
to
pink.
they similar to the ones that like Ellie was wearing.
Nah, these are better. They were terrible.
$150. That's small for you.
150?
Yeah.
I paid more than that.
Black Friday sales boost.
I paid full price.
They're continuing.
You've got to support these big businesses. It's a trickle-down economy. If I don't support the big business, how are the little people going to get supported? It's trickle down.
What colour lenses have you got?
I went the pink lens with the black band with the pink top frame. Anyway, they're very good. They don't slide. They don't fog. I don't even notice they're on my face. I don't squint with them. But can you remember they were Adidas? A lot of the Adidas runners used to wear these fucking awful running sunnies. And I'm going to have to throw Sinead under the bus. She was one of them. Maybe they were Nikes back when she was wearing, but they were terrible. It's like running sunnies were the most like ugliest, disgusting things of all time. I'm talking like mid 2000s, about the Adidas Addy runner years. Folks, we'll bring that up again.
Sinead wasn't running mid 2000s.
But she that's why they stood out, because she was pulling mid 2000s fashion into the mid.
Was in 2018.
I'm going to have to find them.
Find a photo. I'll put on our stories throughout the week.
Yeah, good one. Perfect. I'll
Tag her in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So in style there. The last thing I've got here, fellas, is I thought I could preview Zatopek Thursday night. Not a lot of hype coming out of Athletics Australia. Haven't read any kind of like form guides yet, which I'd love to see pre-big races like this. The fields are, they're okay. They're okay. Jack Rayner's probably the superstar in the men's race, obviously being the Australian record holder for that distance. You'd hold that one. Who else is in there that wears Australian singlets? Liam Adams in there, Andy Buchanan's in there, Matthew Clark's in there, Ed Goddard and Julian Guzman are listed here. Not sure if Ed Goddard's running a 10k track race off the back of a marathon. What's that, a week and a half between? And Jordan Guzman, haven't seen much from him. Did he do something recently? Maybe a half marathon in the States? James Hansen.
So Guzman did do that half, and I reckon that was the one where...
that's the one with DeCisa.
Yeah, that's
he pulled out though. Yeah, there was a photo of him, the same photo. Sam McEntee's there. It's probably a really strong Australian field. We don't have some of the US based athletes, and I guess you're missing the class of Brett there as well, recovering from the marathon. Who's your pick there, boys? It's hard to go past anyone other than Jack, isn't it?
Yeah.
He'd start that $1.01 favourite, wouldn't he?
I guess the question will be whether Jack is happy just to sit for the majority of it and then just kick away, or whether he actually wants to chase a time like he did at Burnie.
Would he? Yeah, but what incentive is there to chase a time? Because would his Australian record be potentially in the time frame to get him to the world champs, and now he just has to win this?
Yeah, I'm not sure when that opened, but that would be the only reason why he'd want to run like fast, I suppose, unless he wants to just go and test himself. Yeah,
he'd be so confident he can get his time over in the States or Europe or wherever anyway, the way he's running. Women's race, this has some interesting storylines to it, because Rose has won the last two, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's going for 3 in a row, but it hasn't been the same Rose that we've seen the last couple of years. So can she bounce back and get the hat-trick? Izzy Bat-Doyle post-marathon at Melbourne, what kind of shape she in? Lam Pompiani, she's got that good track 5K, she's won some good road 10Ks. Is it time for her to get her first Zatopek W? And I also had down there Caitlin Adams as well. I think she could do some damage. She was good at, Melbourne Marathon 10K. She won that pretty easy in a quick time. Not sure what shape she's in since. That could be any one of those four winning that one. Anything I've missed there with the women?
No, I think you've got them all.
few wild cards, but can't get. They're all wild cards, really. They're at Zatopek, so they are wild cards. But we don't know some of the Americans' form. So, not the Americans, but those that are based in America, like Amelia Mazzodowney. I think she performed pretty well at cross country this year over there. It's probably the one that stands out.
Nat Rule, can she convert that quick 5K track time to a track 10K? That's probably another one. It's going to be interesting to watch. It doesn't look like there's... Well, you're never sure who's a pacemaker too. Like Amelia paced last year.
Yeah.
Like, is she there to pace or is she there to race? And I can't see... Usually there's some pacemakers, like some Melbourne Track Club training partners that might pace this, but it's only Jack Bruce. Do you know if there's going to be any pace on?
I haven't heard anything.
No one's heard anything.
What about your boy Archie Reid? Didn't get a gig.
Archie, yeah, I did have to send an email today. So Archie got this email on December the 1st. Just let me open it up here. Hi athletes, thank you for being so patient as we process nominations for the Zatopek 10. Now nominations have closed, I confirm via this email that you have been accepted to race in the Zatopek men's 10,000 metres. If you're an interstate athlete, please feel confident in making your travel arrangements. We will aim to have the final start list as of Monday the 5th of December, along with further details. Then he checked the start list and his name wasn't on it, the poor kid. So just trying to clarify. But the races, yeah, we tried to ring, tried to email, no responses. And yeah, then I sent an email today. But it'd be interesting to see if he's on the start line or not Thursday night. Because Nathan Stote, the other athlete I coach, he got the same email and he's on the start line.
So if you can't get through to AA between now and then, or whoever, Athletics Vic, whoever's organising it, does Archie just go down?
Go down, spike up, just run it.
Just show the email at the gate.
I think, it's the person on the gate's not the person in the call room though. That's the hardest thing when you go to these meets, though, isn't it? Like you still got an email saying you're part of the race. Well, sent the email.
So I'd be saying find me a number.
I sent the screenshot of the email Tom had sent him today back to Tom, just saying, can we get some clarification here about what's going on, and can someone please reply to us? So yeah, that's been a bit disappointing in their response there. And Archie's only he's 22, he's not the oldest, most experienced person, so you'd like to think that the junior, or people fresh out of juniors, and he came 13th in this race last year, he's not out of his depth being in this field. So yeah, if you see him down there, cheer it on. I think we'll do a bit of a watch party again, boys, for the main race. Nath Pearce is keen to get down there. We've applied for media accreditation, so we're hoping he's down there to get us some interviews as the races are going. We'll just do the 10Ks, I was thinking, Thursday night. Mm-hmm. Happy with that, Moose? Good. Throwing that on you. You're not going, are you, Moose, to watch in person?
I'm not, no. I'll be at home. I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, it'd be good just to chat while the races are going, because there's some storylines there. The other thing I wanted to talk to you boys about is the end of year award show is fast approaching. Remember we do this every year?
It's always fun.
Oh, it's been a big 12 months as well, 2022. Remind me of the categories, Crocs.
So we have Performance of the Year, Race of the Year, Athlete of the Year. Then we have Most Improved and Ones to Watch for the coming year.
And we don't do gender, do we? To win Performance of the Year, just one performance.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's going to be hard this year, and I reckon there's going to be some athletes that have done some incredible things that may not even get a mention.
Aren't even getting a mention, yeah. I was thinking we could put a voting thing online as well, like Google Doc or a Survey Monkey, because I want to actually know what the listeners think. So when we read out our responses, we could say, well, 83% of the listeners actually said this. It'd be quite interesting to see if they side with us.
Yeah, yep.
Get thinking about those things. All right, show's done. What are you doing between now and next week, Moose?
Well, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna train a bit. I'm gonna book some stuff. Is it Zatopek night? I'll probably talk to you guys on Thursday night.
What are you booking?
Family holiday after the conference in Japan.
Oh, over there?
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking the family?
Well, no, afterwards. Pia and Bree are going to come meet me. So I thought if I'm going over, I might as well make it a bit of a trip. I mean, I get yelled at if I go overseas by myself for a junket.
So you're going to have a holiday in Japan, or you're going to go somewhere, go on a beach somewhere?
No, holiday in Japan. be interesting with a what would it be 16-month-year-old baby, but she's pretty good. She'll just see us.
Go up to Malaysia, sit on a beach for a while, I reckon.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Thailand, somewhere like that, just sit in a resort for 10 days. Put your feet up.
That sounds pretty nice.
Japan's pretty hectic.
And it's cold too.
Oh yeah, winter.
Japan's rad though. Like I love the culture. I love how different it is, and how you can kind of not get anywhere. Like it's just such a different place. You come back thinking you've been on another planet. Yeah. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I love the food. I love how people are polite. I love the fashion. I love how they're a bit quirky. They're super traditional. I want to get out into the small town areas of Japan, not because we've been in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka for the races we've done. But if you get out into the countryside, I reckon that would be pretty cool.
And they're very friendly, safe.
So friendly. All
right, Craigs, what are you doing?
I'm on school holidays, so I'm going to go and meet the group tomorrow afternoon and hopefully just do the warm-up. I might go and hit some golf balls one day. Do you guys like going to the driving range and hitting balls?
Nah. No.
Oh, really?
Not really. My back's no good for that, mate.
I've been watching a bit of golf actually on TV on a Sunday, final round. I sort of don't mind a bit of golf.
Hey, I've been watching that doco you were talking about, the soccer one. Welcome
to Wrexham. Yeah. Enjoy it?
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that was good recommendation there. So you're on holidays until Feb. How's that, Moose? What is it? 12th of December. Puts his feet up until Feb.
Doesn't really work a lot either.
Well, that's why I want to get my leg right, so I can actually run a fair bit over the holidays.
You're going down the coast, put the feet up, body out on the beach?
Well, they're all coming over here for Christmas. We're hosting Christmas Day, so maybe head down there in the new year.
All right, we're rambling here. Let's throw to the Sinead interview. Sinead joined us last week on Road to Valencia. So this was she came in live to the chat, so you can kind of hear us just finishing off our conversation. Then we introduce Sinead. You'll hear from Christian from Norway. He was on the call as well. And Toby, the bad boy from Ballarat Mende. So they throw some questions at her. Pretty kind of relaxed interview. We didn't have a whole lot of pages and notes or anything like that, but we just quickly spoke to her about 45 minutes about her Valencia experience. Hope you enjoy it. We'll do it all again next week, boys. See you later.
Chat to you Thursday. See ya.
Oh, yeah. Bye. We'll put those links on our social media, so you don't have to ask us. Just keep an eye on Thursday afternoon. We'll put it all up there. See you, boys.
See ya.
But it's okay. You live and you learn, and we're about to talk to someone who I think ran her 14th marathon in the Australian record, so I'm sure she's going to have some words of wisdom for us about how to pull it off and stuff. But disappointing in the performance, but glad I was there. Glad I got to share the road with Sinead Diver, the freshly minted Australian record holder. Sinead, welcome to Road to Valencia. We will put this out to everyone, so you are also on you're also on the Inside Running podcast, so it's going to go everywhere, this chat. But I think you met Toby at the post-race beers. Didn't meet Christian. You actually thought you met Christian post-race, but it was actually one of the Denmark marathoners, Christian. Is it Thijs? He's run 2:10. Yeah, I introduced Sinead to him, and she thought it was Christian for a second there. But welcome, congratulations again on the 2:21. Seconds? 34, the new Australian record by 62 seconds. Welcome back to Australia. How's it all feeling? Is it sunk in?
Hey guys, thanks, Brady. I got back last night around 6 p.m. or so. It's really nice to be home, and I've kind of had some time to think about it on the plane and last night and stuff. So, yeah, it's sunk in. I was just saying that I was so focused on the record after the race that I kind of didn't really think about the time, the 2:21. I was like, somebody else said to me in the pub that night, they were like, have you thought about the 2:21? That's such a good time. And I was like, I haven't really actually. It's just been kind of all about the record. But yeah, I'm delighted with the 2:21.
Because it's so fast. It's funny you say you didn't think about that, because when I saw you straight after the race, when we crossed paths, I've already kind of shared that story as you were kind of as we were trying to find some participation medals. That was the first thing I thought. I'm like, 2:21. I'm like, incredible, insane, and like to take 62 seconds off the Australian record that's been there for so long as well. Like, it must be. Did you expect to go that quick?
No, so I was in the pack for 2:22, and actually they were supposed to go through. It was more 2:22:30, so they were supposed to go in through half around 71:15 was the plan, but we ended up going through half in 70:40, and that was actually just me. So there was three girls in the group, and one of the girls kept telling the guy to go faster. And I kept saying, no.
Yeah.
Like, stick to 3:22s. And like we were dropping like 3:16s a couple of times. And then at that point I was like, no, this is ridiculous. Even though I felt fine, I was like, I'll pay for this later. So I pulled back a bit. And I didn't really care if I was going to run it on my own. I was kind of just in a good rhythm. But then I caught the group again, and the girl who was pushing the pace had gone ahead even further. So the pacer dropped back, and the other girl had dropped out, so it was literally just me and a gang of men. So he was like, he came back to me, he just stuck with me then until 30k. He was brilliant. Like from then on, he was like telling the guys to get out of the way when we were coming up to the drink stops and stuff, because they kind of weren't really aware of the women's drinks were on the left and the guys were on the right, so they kind of were in my way a bit. So he was clearing them out and making sure that I was like slotted in behind him for a lot of it. So that was really good. He was great.
Did you know who he was? Did you know him before the race or anything?
No. So they told us we were supposed to have two pacers, but one of them didn't show up. So I knew what his number would be. So I just found him at the start line, and I was like, 3:22, like a 2:22 pace. And he was Spanish. He was like, yeah. But then he took off quite slow. I thought we were doing like 3:28. So then I kind of was like, no. So I went off by myself. But then he came up to me and he was like, 3:22? So I was like, yep. But anyway, yeah. I actually bumped into him then after the race. I walked back to the hotel with my sister, and I was chatting on the phone to mum and stuff, and then he just walked by my hotel randomly, and I was like, oh my god. So I was able to give him a hug and chat to him, and yeah, he was really nice. He was so excited for me as well, so it's cool.
So special. So then from 30k after he dropped onwards, you're solo, and I assume probably just mowing people down?
So I was in a group of guys, but they all went behind me. Like once the pacer went, it was me leading the pack. I was like, I cannot believe this is happening in a marathon this size with a mixed race. It was just insane. And then so it's pretty much solo, yeah, from then on. And then there was a couple of guys kind of would go ahead of me, and then I'd catch them again, and we were kind of going back and forth a bit.
Any bad patches through there, Sinead? Because just looking at your splits, I think you ran I had a look at them before and I'm just reloading them now, but you ran your fastest, I think 5k. Yeah, there was a 16:40 from 35 to 40k.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, you ran 16:50, 16:46, 16:46, 16:39. So sorry, you went 1 second quicker from 15 to 20. But then to go 16:40 from 35 to 40, but you did have the 17:04 from 30 to 35. So you had your slowest one into your fastest one. Yeah. Well, this is what's on the website.
I don't know if that's right. On the results website, I don't think there was a 17. Like I was pretty much. I have my Strava, but.
Oh yeah, it's still on private though, isn't it? You should have unleashed that one.
I've shared it. I've shared that one.
You sure?
Yeah.
This might be the same Jess Stenson situation where she put New York up and then it disappeared off there.
No, 100%.
Boys, have you seen this on Strava?
I'm just trying to find it now.
Try and check it now. I want to see if did you manually split when you went past?
What do you mean? So my watch was on
the last
K-splits.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, she's got it up here. I didn't come up on my feed.
So this is what Strava has, right, from my 5. So let me see.
And this is you manually splitting it when you're running past the 5K marks? Or is this
sorry. So this would be my Garmin 5K.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would be a bit out actually.
Yeah.
But so 30 to 35K here, it says 16:47. So maybe that was 17:05. Is that the one?
Did you have your lap Ks on? Yeah, 1K splits.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm just used to having that. So I didn't take it off. So I'd look every now and then, like if I was feeling not so great or if I thought I was going too fast, I'd like check it out.
Okay, well, let's for the sake of this conversation, let's go with the official splits, hey?
Okay.
Which I'm praising you. I'm like, that's an amazing split, going 16:40 from 35 to 40K. 17:04, yeah, it was the only one over 17. But we can write into them and say, look, we just broke the Australian record. Is there any chance she can move some numbers around? She wants them all in the 16 somewhere. But I guess the question was around, like, obviously you're feeling good towards that end of the race.
Yeah, I did go through a few bad patches. Not really bad, but just felt like, oh God, this is getting really hard, and kind of worrying that I was going to just start getting slower and slower and slower. But I'd have that for a few K and then I'd come good again. And there was quite a bit of that throughout the race. Just, I think when you start thinking about how long you have to go, even up to like 40K, I was like, I need to, like, I could pop at any second. Like, I just found it quite stressful, this one. I guess because it was going so well, I was just afraid of anything going wrong. But then when I had only 8K to go, I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, because I just had my K splits on. I knew I was in PB territory, but I didn't know whether I was in Australian record territory or not until, you know, when we turned into around the corner, we could see the time on the finish line.
Also at the bottom of the ramp kind of thing when you just got, okay, because that was one of Brad's questions, like how far out did she know she was going to break the Australian record? Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, that would have, yeah, okay. For some reason I saw some, I think Ben Parks put a video of you on the road with maybe a K to go, and you had a little smile on your face, and I thought, when I saw that, I was like, okay, she knows she had it then. So
my grimace looks like a smile. Like, so my sister said to me, Sinead, you were smiling like at 400 meters to go. I was like, I definitely wasn't. And then I saw some footage of me, and it does look like I'm smiling, but I'm grimacing.
Okay.
Like, I'm...
Take that. Kipchoge does the same thing, doesn't he? When he's in hurt, he just starts smiling.
It's so weird.
Hey, there could be something in that if you two are doing it. His second part of his question was, and if she knew she was going to break it, did it make the last few K enjoyable? So I guess it was just that last... What's actually going through your head when you're on that blue mat, you're coming in the finish line, you know you got the time, you're in the 2:21s. Do you enjoy it, or is it relief, or is it...
So I saw the 2:21, and then I wanted to get 2:21. I didn't want it to tick over 2:22, so I like pushed as hard as I could. And there was actually this girl that she had been in the group ahead of me, and I caught her. I went past her, but then when it came down to a bit of a sprint finish, she had me easily, but she was kind of elbowing me a bit. So there's a bit of that going on at that stage as well. So no, I didn't like pull back and enjoy the moment or anything. I just went as fast as I could to the finish line, and then enjoyed the moment.
So a bit of a sprint. Was it 12th you were in the end, or was she?
Oh, so she was, I think she's in as 11th and I'm 12th, but we're like exactly the same time.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
We'll complain about that.
She must have been a few milliseconds ahead.
Yeah. The last part of Croaks' question, and we've got a lot of these coming from Patreon here in a second, Sinead, but how's the feeling of a national record and the PB, of course, compared to 10th at the Olympics? Do you put them next to each other and like compare them, or they're two different things?
I actually think that this one, I was much more excited about it because I've been trying to get it for so long. Whereas the Olympic marathon, I didn't even know that I came 10th when I crossed the line. I was just kind of happy. So then when I found out that I came 10th, I had kind of calmed down a bit anyway. But this one, I was like super excited. So yeah, it is kind of hard to compare them, but I was more excited crossing the finish line, breaking the record.
Yeah. Any questions, boys, before I go to the Patreon ones? I'm sure you got some stuff there. Toby, throw to you first.
Oh, Oh, I actually don't have anything, but it was just so epic just to see you sort of come across looking so strong. It definitely got me pumped to go again, because it's just like I saw you up on the screen as well, and you could just see how like excited you were, and it's just like that's what you train for. You train for those moments, and to see someone else get it is just it was just epic.
Thank you.
Christian, King of Norway, what do you got? You'll have some good ones.
I know you hate this stuff, Sinead, but I need to ask you. The world record, you think about it at all?
No, honestly, because, and I'll just explain why. It's not like, it doesn't bother me my age that I'm 45 at all, but the people that I'm competing against in the 40 plus category are all retired athletes. Like, there's very few athletes that are training at the level that I train at who are still racing at 40 plus. So to me, it's not a big achievement at all. That's why it's just like I started when I was 33, and most other athletes by then are nearly ramping down. So it's an unfair advantage for me having started so late, and I'm at my peak now. So it doesn't mean anything. Whereas the Australian record means everything to me, but the world record in the age category doesn't. Does that make sense? Or?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense a lot. And one other question, Shanna. I mean, running is booming in Norway. We have crazy people running really, really fast. But still today we lack the girls that want to have the road races and looking for going on longer distance. What can you say to girls in Norway that are struggling with the track? Some of them are quitting the sport in an early age. I mean, you're pretty much the biggest inspiration for all of us. I mean, forget about the age, but you have been out there, you have had some rough last halves. I saw the post you had on Instagram. This was race number 14. I mean, what can you say about just keep going, keep staying motivated, and for girls that want to have a future on the road?
I think like the most important part about longevity is that if you enjoy what you're doing, and like that's not to say that every training session has to be enjoyable, because often they're not, but in the bigger picture, if you enjoy what you're doing, then you just won't want to quit, and you want to keep going. So I think a lot of people who are retiring, or just like if you go through long patches of it been pushing and it being a massive struggle, you need to pull back, or you're just going to quit, because it's really hard to maintain that. And I think as well, like I think I've shown that you don't have to do it all before a certain age. Like if you're struggling and you're not getting anywhere for a while, it's okay to take a break. It's not going to shorten your career. You can just then take it up, after that again. So you kind of need to keep that fire in your belly and keep the love for the sport going. Otherwise, if it becomes a drag, you're not going to get anywhere.
Good answer. Norwegians will love that, Christian. We can see a resurgence from Norwegian women distance running after that. Sinead, oh, sorry, you go.
The record in Norway for girls is pretty much the same as in Australia. We are talking about 2:21.06. Ingebrigsten ran in London in 1986, and the girls now is nobody that are running under 2:30. But we need people that are able to go the journey, to be out there, to love the sport, and to keep showing up. This was your attempt number 14.
Yeah, like it takes a long time to nail the marathon. I think like you learn something from every. I've made mistakes in every single marathon. That's 14 of them, and even this one like wasn't perfect. Like I like just doing. I didn't sleep that well in the days leading in. I was kind of thinking it was to do with maybe my carb load, that I was like taking on too much carbs because I'd lie in bed and my like heart was pounding. And I'm like, how am I still experiencing stuff like this after 13 or 14 marathons? Like, surely I should have my carb load nailed and down pat now. But things change in every race, and you kind of have to learn from it and take little learnings into the next one, and you just get better and better, like, the more that you do.
When you see the results, Sinead, on the day, like, yeah, amazing performance, but it only got you 12th. Like, I'm trying to think, have you ever finished that far? Like, you finished higher at the Olympics. How many Londons and New Yorks and stuff have you been top 10? And then you look at the times, and you kind of just spoken how you don't want to compare yourself as competing against the 45-year-olds, but the people you are competing as against are super fast. Like, what do you think when you see these times and these results come through?
I kind of like, I think majority of those were Africans, so they're at another level to us for whatever reason. So I kind of nearly don't even like, in a race like that with so many Africans, where I placed wasn't important to me at all. Like, it's mad to think that I ran 2:21 and I came 12th. It's insane, but I guess, like, that's where we're at. Like, there's so many Ethiopians and Kenyans, and then I think that actually the girl that was with me, she was from Morocco. But yeah, I don't know. Just there. I guess, you got to compare yourself to people in similar countries in a way, and similar socio-economic like situations. Is that what you mean? Like, you look at the American results and the British results and stuff, and you look at those and compare yourself with them? Yeah, just because the Africans are like completely at another level. Like, they have so many women that can go sub 2:18. Like, there's just so many of them, and for me, that's not even. It's not on the radar. I can't compete with that. So I do kind of compare myself more to like the British girls, the Americans, because we're all more at a similar level, I think. Yeah. Hey, we've got some quick fire ones here from the Patreon supporters. Thanks to the Patreon supporters who wrote these ones in. First one from Tim. Can you please ask Sinead about her footwear? Was it her first time racing in the Alpha Flies, I think? Yep, first time. So I was a little bit worried about that, but I loved them. Because when they came out first, I didn't like them at all. And then decided to give them a go for this training block, just kind of halfway through. And yeah, I quite liked them. I took a while for my legs to get used to them. Like, after the first day I wore them, after that session, I was in so much pain for a couple of days. So you must use different muscles or something. So, but after like a few weeks of it, I was fine. And I really liked them on the day. But I did think about them during the race, thinking, I hope like my hamstrings or quads or whatever don't get really, really sore after 30k because I'm wearing different shoes. But they were good. Boys, that could have been my problem. You know what I should have been wearing? What did you wear, Brady? Yeah, Alpha Flies, but I wanted to wear these Mizuno ones, but the boys talked me out of it last week, so I'm blaming them for my performance. Anyway, I was trying to talk you into wearing it. This isn't about me. Tom's got another question here. I'm going to reword it, Tom, because you've done a joke here, but I'm going to put it in a different way. How does this record? Was this the Irish record as well? And how the feelings around? So do you get the Irish record now that you're Australian allegiance or not? No, it doesn't count officially. Okay, it doesn't count. But then what's the vibe in Ireland about running so quick with the history of Athletics Ireland and decorated history? Is that the word? The rejection for you as an athlete in a way? Like, how does it all feel now you see these times? Do they reach out and say, yeah, look, we stuffed that up? No, they haven't reached out at all. No? At all. But the people there love you still, don't they? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they're always like, slagging off Athletics Ireland for that decision. So that's good. And actually, so the record holder in Ireland, Katrina McKiernan, she sent me a message and said, like, congratulations on breaking the record. Because I thought that was really nice, because officially I haven't. Yeah. But I have run faster than her time. It was actually a very similar time to Benita's. It was 2:22:23. Okay. So like everyone in Ireland other than Athletics Ireland, like, are really supportive, and yeah. always slagging him off for
what they could have had, boys.
for
hey?
snubbing me.
Yeah. Hey, just on the people you've got messages from, is there anybody else who's been like a bit of a surprise for you? Like, I'm sure you've had an inbox full of them all, but anyone, or maybe more than one person that you've looked at and been like, oh, I didn't expect that person to reach out?
A lot of people from like school and university and stuff have reached out, like people I haven't heard from for years, which is really nice. Like obviously Benita messaged me like straight away and stuff. I wasn't not expecting her to message me, but she like sent a really nice message, and it was really nice to hear from her. I've honestly been like inundated with messages, and everyone has been so kind and excited for me, and it really makes it really special because I don't know, everyone's kind of getting around me, so it's really nice.
Yeah, that's good. Another one here from Julia. Oh, sorry, Christian, you got one?
Did you know about Brett's result before you started the race?
Oh yes. So I knew Brett was racing before me, and I knew when I woke up that his race was finished. But I was actually afraid to look because I wasn't sure if I wanted to know or not. So I didn't check social media or anything. And Nick had sent me a message. I just ignored it because if Brett, no, like this is just before the race. But like if Brett had not gotten the record, I'd be really disappointed for him. And I was afraid then I'd feel really flat. But then if he had gotten the record, I was like, oh my God, like, will I feel more pressure? Or so I was like, it's best I don't know. Anyways, so I was sitting downstairs. We had to walk to the race hotel, and then this English guy was next to me, and he said to somebody behind me, like really loudly, like, oh my God, did you hear about the Aussie guy, Brett Robinson? He ran 2:07:31. I was like, oh my God. So I was like so excited then, and I actually was really glad that I found out because it's kind of all amped up then, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Any last word from Nick?
Before the race.
She didn't read the message.
Before the race.
Still unread.
No, before the race, the day before.
Whatever you do, Sinead, don't do. No, he messaged me. He messaged me the night before and just said, this has been your best lead-in, probably since Melbourne 2018. He's like, settle in for the first 90 minutes and, be confident, I guess is what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one. This one's from Julia. Mother of sons working with NAB, training like a beast. How does she maintain her energy? Is it diet, lifestyle, or just sheer motivation and discipline?
Oh, probably a mix of everything. And I think it kind of helps that when I started out running and training and stuff, like I've always had kids and a job. I haven't come from like an athlete background where all I did initially was, running. I've always kind of work, and my kids have always been part of it. So I'm very used to that juggle now and kind of grew into it. Because when I started, I wasn't like training at this level. I wasn't running twice a day. I wasn't doing like half as much. I actually looked back on my first marathon there the other day, and I was running like a max of 100k a week. So like even less than that. Whereas now I'm closer to 200. At work are also like more supportive, helping me out a bit and like giving me time off and that. So that makes everything a lot easier. Also, like working from home has been a godsend because I don't like have to waste time commuting, and Colin works from home. So it's all these little things kind of make a difference. It is still really hard, like everything seems fine and rosy now because I've had a race that went really well, but sometimes it's just such a grind and it's really difficult, and sometimes I'm honestly like, I don't know if I can continue going like this. And then you kind of come out of that and things go well again, and yeah, I don't know.
Did you feel like this race had a bit of that, like what's the next 2 or 3 years going to hold for Sinead depending on the result?
Yeah, because I haven't had a great year. I've essentially had one good race since the Olympics, like one race I was really happy with, and that was Gifu. And other than that, I've had like, I've had reasons for why the races didn't go well, but when you continually have these races where they don't go that well and you have a reason, it then starts to sound like you're just making excuses. And like, I was worried that I kind of sounded like, oh God, I'm on the downward spiral and I'm not accepting it. Whereas I knew deep down I wasn't, and I knew my training was going really well. So I really felt like I needed this race to go well. It just would have been really hard to deal with it if it didn't.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else I could have done, because like this is the best I've ever trained. And I was like, if this doesn't go well, I don't know what more I can do. So yeah, I'm very relieved it did go well.
And now it's like exciting. It sounds like it could be the start of like, you know, the next chapter, like go even faster. There's a question here asking what's next, and another one about World Cross Trials, make the team there. I think you and Brett should get a free pass to be able, just get picked on the team straight away. I think like marathon running and cross country running are so much about strength, and if you just broken long-standing national cross country marathon records, you shouldn't be expected to have to back up in a short period of time. Whereas the race is long enough post race to be ready to go again.
I know the plan, Brady.
You know what plan? Sinead's plan. You only met her 20 minutes ago. What are you talking about? Nick's back reading your messages.
No, it's time to cash in, and it's time to go to London again.
Oh, you think so?
Are you going to London,
to
Christian?
break 220.
220.
Christian's going to London. He's got his spot.
Wow. Oh, good stuff.
Can you enlighten us, Sinead, on race plans, cross country?
So to be honest, I hadn't really thought much about my plan after Valencia. I was like so focused on that. Like my rough plan is obviously next year, like I'll do a few marathons. I want to get an Olympic qualifier. That's going to be my main focus for the year. Cross country, yeah, I don't think I'll be ready for the trials. I'm not, it doesn't bother me that much though. Like, I don't feel like I've prepared enough for cross country, and especially not the trials. I think, you know, I'll need a few weeks to recover from this, and I would really need to start doing some hill training and stuff, I think, to get ready for that.
I reckon you nominate and then make them selectors' discretion. Imagine that conversation. I think they've got to put you in the team, and then you get picked early and you've got plenty of time to prepare. Look how Brett doubled up from like what did he do? London to Fukuoka. Like he can do it.
Yeah, he did great. Given the short time frame between his races. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I mean, I've only really thought about marathons next year. So I have to catch up with Nick this week or next week and chat to him about the plan. London could be an option, Christian.
And when does the Olympic qualifier window open?
Running is higher now, Sinead.
Yeah, 221 payday now.
It's a national record.
Oh yeah, true. And top 10 at the Olympics, Christian. The bio is starting to look good.
They haven't actually announced when the qualifying period opens. So, however, for World Champs, it opened on the 1st of December last year. So imagine if it opens on the 1st of December this year, if it opened for the Olympics.
That'd be nice.
Have you looked back even more years? Is it
so good?
Is there like 20 years of just like 1st of December at opening?
I think, I don't know, I just always presumed it was the 1st of January, like the year before the event. But for Budapest, it was the 1st of December 2021.
Okay.
So, but they have yet to let us know. I don't know what, like,
then,
what's the delay?
Yeah, it makes it hard.
It's World Athletics that set it, like not a,
They have set it though, haven't they? Haven't they set this?
Have they?
I swear
the qualifying period.
They've set the time, haven't they?
Oh, they've set the time.
Definitely set the time, because the men's is like 2:09. Is it 45 or something? Yeah. So with race selection going forward, because Valencia was a bit different. I think we spoke about it when you're on the weekly show. Like, will you look to do more races that are like a Berlin, for example, maybe instead of like a New York, like, or a Chicago that has the men around? Like, is that something you'll look for now?
Definitely. Like, say if this race doesn't count towards it, then I'll definitely look for, a fast course again. But then, like, we've got Budapest next year, And depending on what, like if AA bring in a card for that and say, if you come top 8 or top 10 or something, you get an auto.
Yeah.
Then that would change that probably, maybe. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, I mean, Valencia was kind of it was one that I wanted to do because I knew it was like a fast course. So I pushed for that. And I probably would do similar next year. But Nick would be supportive of that for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's worked, hasn't it? A few quick ones here, Sinead. It's taken up enough of your time tonight. Bob would love to know a nutrition plan, what she did on race day. And yeah, he wants to compare it to how different it was to Benita's back in the day. Not sure if he's got that information, but yeah, it'd be interesting to know. So what did you do?
So I don't know what Benita would have done, but I had like a mix of, I have Morton, and then I had a mix of drinks and gels. So I think I had something every 5K, apart from 40K. I skipped that one. I think I started with a gel and then 2 drinks and then a gel, 2 drinks. And one of the gels was a caffeine gel at around the 20K mark, which actually worked really well. I did get a little bit sick after just before I met you, actually, Brady.
I couldn't tell. You looked pretty good. Didn't look like you ran a marathon.
Oh, yeah. So I probably had a little bit too much, actually.
Yeah.
I think. But generally I have like small bottles and there's about 150 mils of drink mix in it. And I'll drink probably 120 of that.
Yeah. This is an interesting one from Joe. Does she think her amazing run will be the catalyst for our Australian ladies to follow the same trajectory as the American women have with lowering their record? Because Joe says she's here for that. Do you think,
sure.
You've only got a limited amount of time, or you think that one's going to sit for another 15, 20 years?
I would like to think that it would stand for a while, but who knows? Like, I think as soon as someone like runs a faster time, then everyone kind of follows suit a bit. Like once the bar is raised, it kind of, everyone knows that they then have to, to make teams or whatever, you got to be pretty much in the top 3. So everyone lifts their game. So who knows how long it'll last for.
Yeah.
But I hope it lasts for a while.
And this one from Paul, like if things could go more perfect with training or the race, how much faster do you think you could go?
Oh God, I don't know. That's a hard one to answer, but I definitely think like that race went so well, but apart from my sleep in the days leading in, I think it's an important thing to get your sleep right. So that's something I definitely could improve on. I don't know. It's hard to.
Yeah.
Hard to answer that.
Sinead, you took my PB with 2 seconds. After my run in 2019, I have thought about running 2:20. And when I'm looking at your training, comparing it to me, and to be honest, I think I was close to 2:20 shape before Berlin this year. I'm pretty sure that you could aim for the 2:19.59 here. If you can build again on this one, if you can get a little bit more help from people, I don't think you should look at 2:19, something that's not possible. I think you got it in you.
Yeah, I mean, it would be amazing, like if I could do that. You kind of need to have the right event and stuff. Like for this one, I was lucky because it was almost like a free crack at the record, in a sense, because I wasn't worrying about like making sure I qualified for Olympics or anything. It's like when you have to do that, you have to be a bit more conservative, I think, and make sure of it. But I'm definitely not gonna think, oh, that's the fastest I can go, because I mean, why would I say that? Like, I would love to think I could do a 2:20, and I'll certainly aim for that in training and see how I go. I think I'll know from my training if it's possible. Like I knew from this training block, I was like, I know I can run a PB 100%, like definitely. So in my next training block, I'll know before obviously I go into the race if that's realistic or not.
Can you remember off the top of your head, Sinead, like maybe give us the top 2 or 3 workouts where you got that confident from? You remember hitting them and being like, okay, look at these numbers, I can do this Australian record?
So I think, whichever, it was actually when Joel started training with me, started pacing me. I remember, I can't remember what session that was. What?
Was it the 5x4K? That would surely have to be one of them, or was it?
It was. I did that one by myself, 5x4K, but the one before that, which would have been 6x3K, Joel helped me out with that one. So I felt really good in that, and then I was worried about the 5x4K, doing it by myself. But I remember then feeling really good in that as well, and I was like, oh, this is going well. Like I like often kind of have one good session, one not so good one. But from the 6x3K, like every session was going better and better and better. Which like sometimes doesn't happen.
Yeah, so you took confidence in the consistency.
Yeah, I think
always being up. Yeah. And like pulling
up well from them, not getting any little niggles and stuff, which in the past would have forced me to pull back or cut, change my plan a bit. Yeah. Whereas this one, I was consistently improving a little bit every week in that.
Yeah, because I think Moose, I don't know if Moose, it was a conversation or an interview with him, but like it was before one of your marathons, like you felt like you were flying, say, 4 weeks out, but then got yourself in a bit of a hole 3 weeks out, and then you got yourself back out of the hole to race. But like this one, it was all just smooth lead into race day.
Yeah, so that was before the Olympics.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got into a bit of a hole for a while, but thankfully got out of it. But this one, I think I learned. So that's happened to me twice before, and I've definitely learned from it. So I don't push myself I do push myself, but not as hard as those times. Like it was like I had no limit, and I kind of didn't realize that, if I've heard of people overtraining in that, but I kind of thought, no, I just need to do more and more and more. Whereas with this training block, I was like, I never want to do that again. And so if I felt tired, or like a couple of Sundays I had a plan to like do a pickup, and I just thought, I'm not feeling it today. I need to like be careful and know that I don't have to do it just because it's on my plan. So I was just a bit smarter, I think, with this training block.
Yeah, and it's paid off. Well, boys, any more questions? We could do this all day. There's another 25 listener questions from Patrons that we got here that I'm not going to get to, but thank you for the people writing them in. Christian, you got anything to leave us with?
Nah, see you in London, Sinead.
See you in London. Hopefully you get to the finish line of that one. Christian's we're just reflecting.
Don't talk to me about the finish line.
Yeah, we're just reflecting on his 2022 1 from 4 marathon finishes, Sinead.
Oh, so Christian, at what point did you pull out, or do you not want to talk about this?
The first 180-degree turn around 7K, I could feel the hamstring. So all in all, I was fucked. So yeah. We need to recharge, go again, but your post on Instagram with putting out the numbers, 14 marathons, I don't even want to talk about your PB and your age, but I will go again and I will remember your race.
I was the same, Christian. I got 6 to get it right. I got plenty of time. 14. Yeah. I didn't realise you'd ran so many, but I guess this year alone there's probably been, 3? 4? 3.
So 3
Com Games,
yeah.
Toby, any questions for Sinead before we let her go?
I was just thinking, would you go back to Valencia again next year if you've got like the qualification period? If it was from December 1st, would you go back? And
I would definitely consider it. I mean, I love that course and the setup, everything. It's a really good one to do. So yeah, I definitely consider it.
How cool was the car park, Sinead? I was just telling the boys before you got on
there.
Yeah. Just like 300 amazing athletes just doing blockies of this car park.
Yeah. We had like our own little booth and everything. It was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah. We didn't have our name on the front of the booth though.
Oh yeah, we were more the general.
Should have got
How funny was it we ended up in the same one, given there was like about 60 of them?
Oh no, I got told you were in that one, so I went in that one. Yeah, I got told, there's a bit of an Australian one going up, number 4. Yeah, I rocked up with this tent. What the hell are you doing in here? Yeah, no, that's why we went there. I think
that's where That's where we were before the World Half in 2018. So myself and Elle were in there before. Yeah.
In the same tent? Did you go in the same number for good luck?
Oh,
number 4?
No, I can't remember what one we went into there.
Yeah, pretty cool setup. Well, Sinead, congratulations again. Thank you for giving up some time for the Inside Running podcast. I know your phone would be going crazy the last couple of days, and you've been away from your family for a while, and then you've just spent 50 minutes talking to us about running. So always appreciate your time, and very grateful giving it up for us. Congratulations again. Enjoy you got like some big celebrations planned just before I let you go? Surely they throw a big party at home, don't they?
Well, Dara has been going on about throwing a party because I missed Colin's birthday as well while I was away. It was on the 28th of November, so we're due to do some kind of celebration for it. And there's a few Christmas parties and stuff coming up, so yeah.
It's a festive time of the year.
Hijack some of them.
You need to say hi to the skateboard people also, Sinead. We are following on Instagram, and it's not for running, it's skateboard only.
Yeah, hasn't been a lot of skateboard content recently.
Yeah, I must get Eddie to do another edit or whatever. He still goes to the skate park almost every day, so yeah, still mad about it.
That's good. Awesome, Sinead. We'll let you go. We've still got to wrap up the show here, but thank you for your time, and we really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thanks, Sinead.
How would you like to run in the official World Athletics Cross Country Championships? The Golden Ticket races are your chance to secure a wildcard slot and race against the world's best and be featured in the global broadcast. Learn more at worldathleticscrosscountry.com. Use the code INSIDERUNNING10 before January 7 when you enter any mass race to get 10% off.